T minus 30 seconds. T minus 20 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
You are now tapped into the coolest reptile podcast in the world. Welcome to the Trap Talk Reptile Podcast, this holy monitor session. Well, tree monitors, that's right. All about the tree monitors tonight. Episode 343 coming right at you. What is good? I'm your boy, MJ. How's everybody doing out there? If this is your first time tapping in, do your boy a favor. Hit that like button. If you enjoy what you hear tonight, even if you're not even a reptile guy, you just stumbled across this podcast, which I would hope. Hit that like button, man. This is all about the animals, and if you love animals and you love what you hear, hit that like button, especially hit that subscribe button. Almost to 7,000. Shout out to all my subscribers. But hit that subscribe button, notification bell. That way you're on top of every single podcast. I drop at least 3 podcasts on this channel a week, all wrapped around reptiles, monitors, snakes, anything cold-blooded related. I'm not gonna lie. And then if you listen to me on all the major audio platforms such as Buzzsprouts, Apple, Google, Spotify, please do me a favor. Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe. Leave me some feedback on those platforms as well. Anywhere you listen to this podcast, thank you so much. I appreciate all the love and support. Means everything. Shout out to the early birds. I see you guys there. If you're looking for exclusive content, or if you want to support what I do, or if you want to tap in with over 160 trappers, real deal animal keepers, learn, sell, trade, whatever, man. We're just all about the knowledge and all about growing. And that's the Trap Talk Patreon family. Shout out to the Patreon family. We'll be hanging out after this episode. Trap Talk after party on Zoom. So if you want to join that and kind of get to know each other more personable and face to face, come hang out with us, man. Come hang out with the trappers. That's happening immediately after tonight's episode. I try to make sure that happens every Sunday. But yeah, man, Trap Talk Patreon family. Love you guys. Go down to that link in the description and click on that link. Join the family. As soon as you join the Patreon, you get a link to the Discord, which will tap you in with over 160 trappers. And thank you again for all the love and support. You guys are awesome. Head over to Instagram as well. Give me a follow on Instagram, TrapTalkGod619. That's a good way to kind of see what I have going on with my own projects, all good and bad. I don't hide anything, man, just because I'm all about the growth. I feel like even if you share the downfalls and the failures in your collection, whatever, no matter what it is, it creates an awareness, just let people know what it is that you have to deal with when trying to be successful at breeding anything, I would feel like, man. But these reptiles, these are everything to me. So we're going to talk a lot about my failures, and even maybe Cody's failures tonight, because nobody gets anywhere without failures. That's a fact. But yeah, hit me up on Instagram. Go follow the podcast's Instagram page as well. The Trap Talk Reptile Podcast on IG. If you're on Facebook, what's good? Show me some love on Facebook. Go to my Facebook page. Okay, let's get those likes up on Facebook. Come on, man. I've been looking at some of these other pages. I'm like, damn, they're killing it. Come on, it's a Trap Talk, man. Let's go. Coolest reptile podcast in the world. Don't hesitate. If you're on Facebook, go to my Facebook page, the Trap Talk Reptile Podcast. Hit that like button, hit that follow button, and yeah, you can catch any podcast on Facebook as well. I will say that tonight's episode is brought to you by my boy Doug Kelly over at Ridiculous RHACS. Did I say your last name right? I think it's Cooley. Damn it. Anyways, this is Dougie Fresh. It's my boy right here, but he's killing it in the Lychee game. Has been well known. Gecko game is also next level. Go check him out, man. My boy Doug, Ridiculous RHACS on Instagram. You could also find him on MORPH Market, I believe. He's on Facebook as well. But I want to say thank you so much, Doug, for the love and support. It means a lot. I also want to say that tonight's episode is brought to you by Ship Your Reptiles, the OG in the shipping game. You cannot beat Ship Your Reptiles when it comes to wanting to ship your reptiles, and that's a fact. Shout out to Susie, shout out to Chad, shout out to the entire Ship Your Reptiles team. Mad love and support. Also, this episode is brought to you by Focus Cube Habitats. If you got a reptile, put them inside of a Focus Cube. The future of enclosures been here. Flex in Texas all day, every day. What's behind me? All Focus Cube. Best believe that. Thank you, Stephen and Ashley, for your love and support. See you guys at the top. And last but not least, Sim Container, baby. If you got eggs, put them inside of a Sim box. Less steps, less stress. If it's a Sim, it's a win all day, every day. And yeah, I wanted to say what I wanted to say, but I can't say it. And that's, because I always like to brag, like, I've had ball pythons hatch out of a sim. I've had retics hatch out of a sim. I've even had chondros. They died, but I've had chondros hatch out of a sim. Tree monitors. Not there yet. But we're going to talk about that, man. Oh, man, we're going to talk about it. So early birds, who's here? Who's ready for tonight? I know I'm stoked either way because Cody, somebody I've been wanting to bring on for a while, and we're making it happen. So be ready because it's going down. Varanus 954, what is good? 954, are you in Riverside area? I feel like that's 959. I can't remember. Anyways, man, thanks for tapping in. Let's go. It's game time. Wise guys, forget about it. Thanks for tapping in. Appreciate you, buddy. Reptile, Trap Talk, Patreon member all day, every day. I appreciate you so much. Happy Memorial Day weekend to everybody out there, too. Yeah, we'll talk about tomorrow in a bit. But yeah, thank you for being here. Reptile, Trap Talk, Patreon member. Eric's More Factory, another homie in the building. What's up, Eric? Thanks for tapping in. Josh, somebody who's also helped me on my venture of breeding tree monitors. And he's been right there with me during the whole way. Thank you so much for tapping in with us, Josh. Scale Fins and Feathers works with beaded lizards, tree monitors, and also other really cool reptile species. Trap Talk Patreon member all day, every day. Appreciate you, my dog. Sunshine State Sulfurs in the building. What's up, Wes? Trap Talk Patreon member all day, every day. The homie Jason in the building, JKJ Reptiles. Trap Talk Patreon member all day, every day. The homie MKB Reptiles in the building. Another sick-ass Trap Talk Patreon homies. Love all my Patreon homies in the building. My homie Ray. What's up, Ray? My favorite reptile podcast on YouTube. Just dropped his first episode with one of my favorite couples in the game. Well, not couples, but business partners, Bomb Project, KG, and D. So go check out that episode. More importantly, go subscribe to my boy's channel because, like I said, I'm so glad to see more like real down-to-earth people come to the podcasting game. Somebody like Ray, who's giving me one of the best New Breed on the Block episodes I've ever had. Very inspiring. And if you haven't checked that one out, I really recommend that you check out that episode. But first and foremost, go subscribe to my boy Ray's channel because he's the one. I'm telling you right now. Appreciate you, Ray. Thank you so much for your love and support. And you got my support. That's a fact. Brad's Bioactive Builds. What's up, Brad? It's a beautiful, beautiful blue tree monitor. Need to get me in the blues, man. Thank you for being here, Brad. The homie Aiden Bradley, AB in the building. Young OG in the building. What's up, buddy? Thanks for being here. Go give him a follow. Elite Exotics in the building. Trap Talk Patreon member all day, every day. E-H, Maryland. Thanks, Maryland. I don't know what that means, but thanks for being here. Sick. Clover's Reptiles in the building. Trap Talk Patreon member all day, every day. The homie Jordan in the building. And we're going to end this with Jordan. We're going to end this with style. But we're going to end this with Heartland Reptiles. Go give him a follow. Doing some sick stuff with some new revolutionary type stuff with enclosures. Check it out, man. I don't want to give you some I'm going to bring Jordan on the show to talk about it first and foremost, which will tap in with me, Jordan, so we can talk about that. But either way, go give him a follow on Instagram. Let him know MJ said she's a Trap Talk Patreon member all day, every day. I love all the love and support, man. Seriously, I got nothing but real ones who support me. And I want to say that's what makes this job, if you want to call it a job, easy to do. That's why I'm consistent with what I do. And I drop 3 bangers a week like it's nothing because it's just easy. Look who I bring on. I bring the best, most relevant people in the game. That being said, let's go, guys. Episode 343 coming at you right now. My boy Cody, who works with multiple species of tree monitors. And we're going to tap in, man. All right. Hey, if you're in the live chats, drop a super chat if you're filling this episode. If you have a topic you want to get across tonight, you have some questions you want answers to, don't be shy with the super chats, and we can get them cracking. Episode 343 coming at you. Let's go. Gee. You ready for do more in the future? Trap Talk podcasts?
Yes.
Man.
Only Trap Talk. Exclusive.
Yes.
Exclusive. Oh.
So stop calling us.
Rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with the crop, gotta love it or not. I'm hot from the hop to the rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with the rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with the rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with the rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with everybody, we do it. Everybody, we do it. Do it.
And we're live, episode 343. The homie Cody. What's up, Cody?
Yo, what's up, man?
How you doing? Fresh from Monitor Fest, aren't you?
Yeah, dude. Long drive.
8 hours one way. And
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah, and I took a 2-hour detour to stop and see some family on the way back. So
Well, that's nice of you.
yeah,
Nice,
good
man.
time.
How was before we get into things? How was Monitor Fest? I mean, this is the second year Monitor Fest been thrown, right?
Yes.
Nothing but good things last year. How did Monitor Fest go this year? And then shout out to Brian Waterloo. I just want to say first and foremost, that guy's a G, straight up. But how'd it go, man? What was the vibe like? Let's talk about it.
It was great. It was really great. There was definitely a better turnout this year. A lot of new faces.
Nice.
But yeah, it was a good time. It was very chill. A lot of drinking.
Yeah.
A lot of Mike Stefani picking on people.
That's Uncle Mike for you.
Right, man. No, it was a really good time. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I'm glad I went. It was worth the drive for sure.
That's awesome. When did you kind of stumble into the reptile industry, like to the level where you link up with people and you meet friends and start sharing knowledge and all that?
Oh, dude, like I don't know. I've actually really only been keeping reptiles about 8-9 years.
Okay.
It's
so crazy. It's a crazy, like normally in anything else, someone says you've been doing it for that long, and it's like, oh, that's a long time. But in reptiles, like they don't look at that as at long at all. And honestly, I've been in the game for 7 years. It doesn't feel long at all. I still feel like I'm fucking brand new into this. So, anyways,
right.
I think that's nuts.
Oh no, for sure. But yeah, I mean, I started keeping like 9 years ago, and it was just like boas. I got a quince monitor. I had Niles, all this, and I was pretty low key. I didn't do like a whole crazy lot, but I got into building like my own enclosures and shit right away. But I'd say when I moved to Omaha, I'm from Eastern Iowa.
Okay.
When I moved to Omaha, Nebraska, I saw a post about tree monitors and on like Reddit or something, and I'm just like, I think I like these. I think this is what I want to commit to.
Right.
And I got really lucky, and I found a dude on Craigslist in Omaha selling a very young green tree monitor with the enclosure for $550.
Wow.
So I snagged it. It as I sold my PC to be able to buy it. I'm like, I need this. I'm not gonna pass up this opportunity. So sold my PC, bought it, and then I don't know, 4 or 5 months later, we bought a male green tree, and yeah, just a few months after that, they started breeding and just kind of.
What'd you pay for the second one? Was it a little bit more realistic pricing, or did you get
$400?
What the hell? What year was this?
5.5 years ago.
Wow. I mean, even 5 years. What do you mean? Even when I was in the, that's when I was stumbling across things, and they were still quite expensive. So I mean, that's
it was very low. Both times we got really lucky. I bought one. My roommate bought the other. We have a really good setup. I have primarily focused on the tree monitors. It was very much like a 50-50 for quite a while, and then it just kind of pivoted. He has a bunch of snakes. I have a bunch of monitors, so we kind of divvy it up, and I do one and he does the other. So we got a lot going on.
wow.
But yeah, it's nice having the extra set of hands. And for sure, like building enclosures and everything is really great.
I'm just tripping out how you have someone you live with who splits all the bills with you, who happens to love reptiles. Like that's like,
dude.
I mean, is it a dude or a girl?
It's a guy.
I might even turn gay for that guy. So I'm just kidding. I'm just saying, like, like that's just like a perfect person to live with.
Right. Like, no, and it's even better. He's an electrician, so literally ideal. But dude, I met him because when I moved to Omaha, I decided to sell that, like, one of the quince monitors that I had, and I met him because he's the one that bought it from me off Craigslist, and we just started kicking it after that. And then after like a year, he's just like, hey, I got space in my place. I know your lease is coming up. You want to move in? And then moved in, and a few months later, we got a bigger house, and
here you are, chapters later.
It's a good setup, man. I like it. It's really handy.
Now, would you have to agree, because I've brought this up quite a bit on the show, that like you have certain things that happen to you if you're meant to be working with these reptiles, and like crazy scenario type things, like, wow, look at my situation where I could go ahead and go all in on this if I want.
Right.
This is one of those situations. Like, there's not too many people out there who are like, yeah, my roommate, we went half on this, and it's like reptile shit. Normally, it's like, yeah, my roommate rather not see any of this, or like I have.
Yeah.
That's the normal like tip situation. Even with like spouses, sometimes for the most part, spouses know what they're getting into when they marry this, but you still have spouses that just want nothing to do with it. You know what I mean?
Right. Oh,
So,
totally.
and that can make things hard because you don't have, like for instance, I know many spouses out there who rather not be a part of it, but they will step up to the plate. Like if they really need to come through, they will. But then you have like in other scenario where like, I mean, like me, right? Like my wife knows, like she's down to help me, right? But I only ask my wife for help if I really, really, really need help. Like if I'm, you know what I mean? But I guarantee there's times I do need help in here, but I don't ask. I just fucking do it because first and foremost, I don't know about you, but I have my ways of doing things. Like I'm very like I religiously have a way of cleaning and organizing and stuff, and that's why it's really hard for me, Cody, when I leave for a few days.
Right.
My wife's the only one who could really understand what it is that I do, because first and foremost, like she walks around, takes notes and shit. And God bless any other homie I've had watch this place, but they ain't taking no notes. They're
right.
Just,
oh, totally.
They're gonna be like, oh yeah, I got you. And I'm like, God, or do you? I don't know. And so, but anyways, it could be really like a dicey situation when you don't have that other bit of support. But in this case, looks like it's
dude, and I mean, you kind of met my girlfriend at Tinley,
yeah.
But she's cool with all of it. When I need something, like if I'm working late or something, like she'll feed grasshoppers for me because I have a big ass grasshopper collection. So she'll feed those. She does a lot of the dubias for me sometimes, and then like I do a lot of 3D printing now, and I'll make these like cage sleeves for the grasshopper enclosures that you snap onto the front so you could stick your arm through. And she sews all the fabric for those, and then we hot glue them on. So she helps me with pretty much everything.
Yeah, man, I'm glad you brought the grasshoppers. Definitely a topic we'll be getting into tonight. Now, I want to kind of talk to you about how progression worked with you and the tree monitors, because obviously we're talking, you got one and then you got the other, which was a pair. And then where did things kind of go from there? Did you get success with that pair first and then started adding, or you just
yeah. I thought you were going to say, did I get success right away? I was going to say, fuck no. No, I bought the female green. He bought the male green. We paired them up, and then I'm like, hey, I got an empty enclosure. I'm buying a blue tree. And I bought a male blue tree. Dude, this thing was like, I don't know, 8 years old, long-term captive. The previous guy had it for 5 years. Great health. I had it for 2 months. I walk out, it's having a seizure on the bottom of the enclosure and died. Just fucking like that. We had a necropsy done, neurological issues. And I'm just like, well, that was like a time bomb. That sucks. So then we just didn't have any other tree monitors. I waited until we got a couple clutches in with the greens. And then I had a friend that had a black tree give me his female, she definitely had some neurological issues too. And he's just like, she just needs a good home. So I took her in. She was probably 12 years old. I would have to say she was old. She passed too, but she lived here for quite a few years. She was never fully right, but it was so funny. Like I go to Tawn Feeder, and you could not just put food in. You could not throw crickets in, dubias, anything. She couldn't catch anything. She couldn't hunt. I don't know if it was like blind, partially blind, depth perception, what. But like if you put the Tawn up to her and then move it, she'll strike over here. It was bad. And yeah, so he had her for a year or two. Guy before him had her for 5 or 6 years, and I had her for 3 years. So she was old, and she came in as an adult.
Yeah, and I don't know. I feel like if you get into anything brand new, it's always smart to raise your stuff, right? Get them as young as possible, but also
definitely.
But if you have an opportunity to get something that has already been around and just kind of see what it's like to establish an adult that's an adult already, like that type of thing. I mean, I always say don't miss the opportunity, but also but also be aware too, because fuck man, a lot of times people are passing around something that's not doing well, and that's why it's like that's fucked up, and that's why one thing I'm very like snake game, man. God damn, and it's hard to even just pick a species of snakes because there's flippers and all that shit. You know what I mean?
Right. Oh, totally.
And I don't know what's the flipping game like with monitors. I mean, I haven't really looked deep into that because I always, even though I know you get your hands on imports, I'm like, fuck that. I'm going captive born and bred. Like I'm not. I already import life could bring you. I've done enough with that with snakes, so I'm only like my blinders are on captive born and bred. But you know, the shit that's not captive born and bred is the shit that gets flipped, right?
Yeah,
right.
Yes,
So
yeah,
let's talk about
totally.
the flipping game and what you feel about flippers. You know what I mean?
I mean, it totally depends because I mean, there's a gray area. Like, are they bringing in a like really bad health animal? Is this thing coming in with parasites, respiratory infections, dehydrated, all this shit, and then rehabilitating it for months and then selling it and then marking it up to account for, you know, the cost put into the vet and getting it healthy and then just kind of evening it out?
Right.
Or are they just buying one, tossing a higher price tag on it and reselling it? I think it depends on the context.
So I've broken this down pretty like strategic on with the levels of a flipper, right?
Right. Okay.
Because listen, I'm not gonna lie, I made a lot of moves that got me to my next animal by basically not like I looked at something that I didn't want to work with no more, and I found somebody who wanted it more than I did, right? And then a lot of times those people had something I wanted, and so that's like, you know, that's great, but like I guess, you know, that's in a sense I did that a lot in the beginning, right? But these were well taken care of animals. Like
yeah, exactly, and that's what matters.
Smashing food, there was no issues, right? So, but here's the thing: this is what I went through, and correct me if I'm wrong. With flippers, right? And they're not all like that. Like Dan from DM Exotics, he's somebody who's always was like next level, stellar to what, like you know, anything you bought from him, he's letting it go with the confidence that it's going to do just fine.
I've heard great things. I've never bought from him. I've always heard good stuff about him.
Dude, he's the man. Dan, from my experience, and I've known him since 2016, and I've gotten it's been a while since I got stuff from him because I don't do that no more. But you know, everything I've gotten from him was just like, wow, like just beautiful, right? But he's definitely not this type of flipper. And this type of flipper is somebody who gets in a group of animals, right? And of course, they pick out the number one that they like the most banging looking animal, right? And they'll take a nice picture of it and whatnot. And they'll either post just that picture or just always have that picture and just always use that picture anytime they want to say
stock photo. Yeah.
Right.
Stock I know photo, what you mean. Yes.
And so
dummy.
Yeah, right. So you're like, what? How much is that? Oh, here, take my money. Then you get it in the mail and it's like missing a jaw,
completely
or like
different animal,
missing a fucking foot. And you're like, what the fuck? And the guy's like, hey man, you know, like, and it's kind of like, okay, there's that level of flipping, and that's when you vote with your dollar. Now, the flipper that I can't stand, and I get it, they're out there and it is what it is, but you guys, this is just an awareness, right? Are the ones who quickly try to get animals the way they can through importers and then resell them that way, right? So it's like a third party importer, or
right,
or it could be a fourth party at that point.
Yeah, no, totally.
But I'm talking about people who don't even like, okay, maybe they get it to eat, but they're not parasite treating it. They're not doing anything to make sure that animal, or even quarantining it. I'm talking about they get it and they get rid of it, right? So
that shit sucks, man.
Yeah, and that shit's happening. You know what I mean? Like, I mean,
totally. I don't see that a lot in the tree monitor shit, I will say.
Snakes, yeah, dude. That's what I'm saying. Right. Snakes all over. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you know, but anyways, that's why I was like, is that happening in the tree monitors from what you can see? Like, you know?
Maybe I'm just blind to it. I don't really see it. But it could also just be who I surround myself with. I feel like the people that I associate with are good keepers. So maybe I just don't see it because the people that do it, I have nothing to do with.
Yeah.
But I can 100% say, like, as far as I go, if I buy an animal, and like you said, parasite treating, if I buy an animal that's wild caught and it's like fresh import, I'm going to say, hey, I want this thing to hit your door and come to me. Don't treat it for anything. Don't do a goddamn thing to it. I will do it, because I just had a female blue tree die that I got a month and a half ago, and she died from panic ear.
Oh, like overdose type shit or what?
Possibly not even an overdose. So I mean, they come in super dehydrated, right? They sit in bags for days, if not weeks.
Yeah.
So they're already dehydrated. And from this extreme level of dehydration, anything is going to fuck them up. So the animal was dehydrated, had a respiratory infection, and then gets treated with Panicure, I would have to ask my vet for a paper on it. But found out recently that it's just gone under the radar, swept under the rug. Panicure 4 to 6 weeks after dosing an animal will cause bone marrow deficiencies. And these bone marrow deficiencies will cause anemia and organ failure.
Wow.
So if you see an animal drop dead 6 weeks after you get it, nobody's thinking it's Panicure related because it happens so far after. And Panicure doesn't always do this, right? It's, you know, a one-off. It's very rare. But if the animal already has all these health issues stacked on top of each other, it's just way increasing the likelihood. So what I do is I get it in, I give it saline injections. I will give it water 100 times a fucking day if I have to. I will fog it at night. Just everything.
What's saline? Can you explain that to me? What's saline? I've heard that before, but my mind's like, don't recall what saline is.
Like lactated ringers, saline. It's just I don't know how to do it.
Is it kind of like, but it's something that you don't orally inject, or you actually shoot?
You can do orally. I do orally, or I do subcutaneous. So pull the skin off to the side and under, like between the muscle and the skin. I've been doing this shit for years now.
That's epic, but also sounds very stressful because I hate stressing these things out. I feel like trust goes all out the window when you have to fucking grab these things and do something to it. You know what I mean?
If you are, I've done it so many times, it's so bad to say. I've done it so much that I can sometimes without the animal even noticing do it. I don't even have to have a second set of hands. I can hold them with one hand, pinch the skin with these 2 fingers, and just pop it in, and they don't even notice. And then I just let them go. I've done this shit so much, dude. Pros and cons, right? Like it sucks that I've had to do it this much, but yeah, it's just like a high nutrient water. I don't know how else to put it.
So something like electrolytes type thing, right?
Yeah, literally. Yeah.
Okay.
But so I do all this. I night fog because fogging at night will just the moisture in the air. They'll soak it in through their vent and their skin, and that'll bump hydration. So I do all of this, and then I pack them with food. I've intubated and tube fed animals with like what is it, critical care carnivore diet and shit. And I'll do all of this, and then once they go to the bathroom, then I will bag it up, throw it in my refrigerator, take it to my vet, and then have him do a fecal. Then I will do Panicure. I do not fucking give Panicure to anything unless it's been tested.
I know what saline is now, like other than what you just told me, but now like it reminds me in my head, and it sucks because I have PTSD from this, and I'm kind of shaking from
Hospital.
Yes, dude. Did you hear about my bite? I don't get into details.
No, I didn't.
I'll talk to you about it afterwards. But anyways, I was in the hospital because of it, and they gave me like you need to go home and clean this shit, and they gave me a big bottle of saline. That's what that came from. And I guess it's just salt and water. I guess somebody just shouted out in the.
Is that all it is? I don't know. I just know it's
sterilized water. It's like sterilized water. Like, you know what I mean? It's like
yeah. Basically, it's supposed to have extra electrolytes or something in it too, like nutritionally. Yeah. I don't know. Or lactated ringers is specifically what I'm referring to, but I just say saline because it's easier.
But let me ask you this, Cody. So is the reason behind you being so good at this treating methods of yours is because you're working with a lot of imports, or that's where a lot of your experiences started with?
2 things. Yes, everything that I've worked with is an import. I don't have a single captive bred animal, so it's a lot of trial and tribulation.
Even today, you have no other than your own United States captive born and breds. Everything.
Not one. I have 12 tree monitors, and all of them are wild caught.
That's gangster. Okay.
Again, pros and cons. I've had a lot of issues because of it. But my mindset is I would rather, and this isn't knocking any breeders by any means. I would rather get wild caught animals because typically wild caught animals will take a much more varied diet than captive bred. And I want shit that's going to be willing to eat rodents and quail and whatever the fuck else I want to give it. And most of the time, from what I've seen, a lot of captive bred animals are very picky and will just go crickets dubia, and I don't want that. Also, I don't really want captive bred females because they're going to take so long to get up to age. I try, the business mind, right? Like I don't want to wait 3 years. If I can buy a wild caught female and then buy a 6-month-old captive bred male, he'll be ready in 6 months. Fuck it, you know.
So
But it just hasn't worked out that way.
You're saying on a breeding standpoint, this makes a lot more sense, is what you're saying.
Yeah,
Okay.
to be ready sooner.
Right.
But then the other side of that is I have a really fucking good vet in Omaha. His name is Matt Merkwan.
That takes you a long ways, dude. Let me tell you that.
Dude, I will give him credit way over anything that I could possibly do on my own. He does house calls. He comes to my house at this point 2 or 3 times a month. He will come to my house once a week during, like right now, I'm cycling a bunch of females. So he will come to my house and ultrasound every single female that I have.
What?
He will, yeah. And it's just, I pay him for the house call. I pay him for the ultrasound. We're good. He's so fucking great. And like, if I, you know, have issues with an animal, he'll hook me up with a bottle. Obviously I pay him for it, but he'll get me the bottle. He'll draw all of the injections that I need. He'll show me how to do everything. He will give me extra lactated ringers, give me extra syringes, tubes for tube feeding, everything that I need. And he does it for everybody. He's such a great vet. His name's Matt Merkwan.
Merkwan.
Yeah, cannot recommend him enough. Dude, this guy he does not make $1 doing it. He vends the local expo here.
Yeah.
Sets up at a table and he just gives out care sheets to the animals that are being sold at the expo.
That's epic.
Fucking saint.
And he's from you. He's from your area, right?
Yeah, Omaha, Nebraska.
Wow, that's epic. Does he keep anything himself? Like, does he have anything
He does keep some stuff. I think it's mainly geckos. Like, I know he has like leeches, but yeah, I haven't talked to him too much about it, but I just know he's been great. He's talked to me a couple times about wanting to possibly eventually write a paper on like the reproductive cycle of tree monitors, because we've been so good about tracking follicle development. I take notes on like follicle sizes. I track how much they grow, everything.
Wow.
So,
and listen, another thing where, like, you know, the reptile gods put you in this position where you get to geek out over this shit,
right,
more than anyone else gets to, because of the vet homie. You know what I mean?
Dude,
like,
oh yeah, and he's so excited about it because he doesn't get to work with this shit. So he's just like, I'll be there.
Hey, yeah, drop that
Super
name
great.
one more time drop that name one more time. Matt what?
Matt Merkwan. I'll put it in the chat.
Matt Merkwan, thank you. Hey, can you get that guy on the show for me potentially? Can you maybe throw in a word, or what's that?
I can definitely talk to him about it. I don't
bring. I mean, I should, and I just don't. You know, I guess I need to make a more effort out of it, and I'm doing that right now. But would love to sit down with more vets. That's for damn sure,
dude. Right?
Because I mean, for the most part, understand that the country does not have Matt Merkwans as vets. Like, there's unfortunately veterinarians that don't know what the fuck they're doing. When it comes to exotic animals, of course, obviously there's a lot of vets that are just really good with dogs and shit like that. But we're talking exotic reptiles. Even in San Diego, there's only like 2. Like, and I'm talking, yeah, like, you know, and Ryan Wilson, shout out to Ryan Wilson, but he's like, you know, he's tapped in with a lot of the veterinarian side of things. And he tells me, like, these are the 2 people you want to see when it comes to like emeralds or anything like that. And you would think San Diego Zoo, like, why wouldn't we have more? But man, that's not the case. That's why that's a gem of a situation for you, bro, to have that.
Oh yeah, super lucky, super lucky. We got a lot of good people in the Omaha area.
I hope you send him a Christmas. I hope you send him a Christmas card and shit, or like, you know, that's
dude.
Like, that kind of guy.
You see all that cork that I bought last month?
Yeah.
He hit me up and he's like, "Hey, can I get some pieces?" So I just gave it to him. I'm like, "Dude, just fucking take it." Yeah. Like,
your money's not good. Your money's no good here.
You're right, dude. Exactly. Like, yeah, I try to support him how I can, so I'm always happy to fucking shout him out every which way. He's great.
When did things start rolling for you? And what I mean by rolling is, like, okay, obviously we're talking establishing, you know, there's things that need to be treated, but like, when did you have a good grasp of like establishment of the tree monitors to where you could pair them up and start going down that route? I guess we kind of start talking about pairing and stuff.
Right. So I mean, we didn't have a fucking clue what we were doing, right? So we just kind of threw the male and female together. Grasped from some other species of reptiles that it's like, put the male into the female's enclosure, not vice versa. Male might be dominant, aggro, whatever. So we did all that. No clue what we were doing. 4 or 5 months later, she dropped some infertile eggs. They locked up. They're duds. Whatever. Which I I mean, you were talking about failures. I think pushing her, and I didn't know better, right? Because it was my first time. She was probably only 2 years old, and I pushed her into a cycle, and I didn't know. And I feel like that stunted her, like reproductively, for a long time, because after that, and I mean, tree monitors, a lot of people get 4, 5, 6, even 7 clutches or 7 eggs in a clutch regularly.
Yeah.
This girl, and she started laying all the fucking time, every 90 days. But it took 3 clutches before I got a fertile egg. On the third, third clutch I got a fertile egg, and she only laid 2 at a time for the first year and a half.
Weird.
But I would say after 4 times of pairing them is when I really got the bearings for it. It took quite a while. It's a lot of trial and error. But
yeah. You there? What happened? Where'd he go? I was looking up a picture and then he disappeared. But yeah, lots of trial and error, guys. Gotta say, there he is. You good?
Yeah, my bad. I hit an F key on my keyboard and it closed my window.
Dude, you want to know embarrassing, bro? Like, I mean, I remember getting some of my very first big gigs DJing. Like, I'm talking like, a couple thousand people, right? And my wrist hitting a fucking, like, literally like DJing.
Right.
My wrist hits a button that either stops the music or plays the other song. And it's like,
oh, fuck,
dude.
Yeah.
So anyways, it could be a lot worse. You're okay.
Oh, no, yeah. But no, I was going to say fucking...
yeah, trial and errors.
Yeah, trial and errors. Matt Kosman helped me out a lot early on. He's pretty big in the tree monitor community.
Can I give you props too, man? Like, I've had a group, not too many people, but I want to say a handful of people I was able to go to and relay information, and like was really supportive. You were definitely one of them. You kind of walked me through this whole next clutch I got for this year. But like, man, really brutal what I went through, with that first one.
Dude, yeah, no, absolutely. But that's to a T how mine went.
Yeah.
So I was saying, fuck, I forget specifically why I was bringing him up, but Matt Kosman helped me out a lot. Kai also helped me out a lot.
Yeah, shout to Kai. Brian,
yeah, dude.
Brian Susan.
But it was a lot of I didn't know what the fuck I was doing, and then I'd have to be like, hey, anybody have input? And it was at first Matt Kosman, and then right after I moved, and it was the funniest shit, like where I made the connection of what was happening.
Yeah.
I honestly just kind of ripped the shit from what green tree python people do. I'm still pretty big into green tree pythons, but I was very big into them back in the day. And I'm just like, okay, all these podcast people say temp cycle, food cycle. And I'm like, I wonder if that will apply here just in like a shorter time period. Right.
Right.
So we move. The house we moved into, the basement was a lot colder. And then when we got them in there, I dropped a fucking light and the bulb broke. So instead of 2 basking, they had 1. And I was like, you know what? I'll try the temp cycle thing and I'll just leave it for a week or 2. So colder ambient, colder 1 basking instead of 2. And then like 2 weeks later, the fucking they locked up just like that. Wow. And then I cranked everything back up and got duds again. 3rd time, I got 2 eggs. 1 was fertile, went the whole distance. Mine went 138 days, and eggs started to mold, and I cut it open because I'm just like, what the fuck do I do? And dead baby. Sucks.
Yeah, man. I mean, man, I took a hit after a hit because I went through what I went through with that sole tree monitor, and then my fucking goddamn clutch of Contro eggs went to shit.
Did it really?
Yeah, bro. All 9 of them. Like 3 of them that like were like 2 of them were a boob egg, and 1 of them like slightly rolled pretty bad when I pulled it, and I marked it. So I already knew that was going to be something. So I had no, I kind of knew something was up with those 3, and then the other ones either showed like I cut, because what happened was I started seeing moisture coming on the top of the egg, right? And mind you, there's no droplets or anything, nothing's dropping on the egg, so that moisture is coming from within the inside. And then what day they were on day like 49, 50. So Patrick Holmes is like, he's like, usually in this case, because what day they're on, and that moisture could either mean couple things. It could either mean that they're ready to come out and like maybe trying to get out, or they're dying or they're dead. Those are the two things. And I was like, okay. And sure enough, the first one that I kind of snipped open, I looked at it and I was like, holy shit, there's like no pattern on it. And it wasn't even developed. It was like, it looked like a goddamn worm. You know what I mean? Like it was just very underdeveloped and wasn't alive. And I was like, okay, there's that, you know? And then the next one was fully developed, had like a weird eye looking like thing, right? But fully developed, and just didn't make it. And then all the other ones were like that. They were fully developed. I even had 2 pip on their own. They pipped last night on their own. And so I was like, all right, like I was trying not to get too excited, which I didn't. I was like, I'm not even gonna fucking mark this as anything, but I was still kind of like happy to see their heads, you know what I mean? So I was like, oh, that's good. But then I woke up this morning and their heads were still out, just slumped over dead. And
No fucking way.
What the fuck? I was like, you know, and then so you have, and I appreciate all the support out there and people trying to give me advice, but I can't tell you how many people are telling me it's my incubator. And I do have a new walk-in incubator, like it's a big incubator, but the temps don't fluctuate more than a couple points. I mean, I'm fucking religiously looking at the numbers.
What do you incubate at, like temperature wise?
85.
Okay.
So there was times, I will tell you, because I just got an AC mini split put into this room. Okay. San Diego is very weird. We'll have whatever weather, even maybe a little chilly, and then all of a sudden we'll have a fucking spike in temperature, and then all of a sudden we'll have like 80, 85 degree days, right? I got to tell you, this new room that I have, maybe it's the way it's insulated, but goddamn, it gets warm very quick. Super quick. So I did have a couple days where I walked into the room and I'm like, holy shit, how hot is it in here? And I went to the incubator and it was like 86. You know what I mean?
Oh, true. Yeah.
86, but nothing over 80. I would say the hottest day I ever had was like a day where that temperature, that incubator got like 86.5. But here's what I did. I obviously opened up the fucking whole incubator and I aired it out. So I don't know if all that like type of fluctuation was just too much. But here's where I'm really coming at with this. And this could really be, I mean, this is just a matter of time, okay, as far as this being what it was. But this egg that she laid January 4th was laid at the old house, okay? But then within that 1 week, I got that egg. There were 3 eggs in. I got those eggs from there to here, okay? But I kept the eggs in the original incubator, which is like this little mini wine fridge that I made, right? So it's like a custom mini fridge. And so I kept it in there. And so maybe this is where I fucked up. Maybe I should just left it in there. But then what I did was, after I felt like, okay, the incubator feels like it's dialed in, I think this is great because my ball pythons are hatching, my super dwarfs are hatching, things seem to be hatching, they seem to be alive. So let me just, you know, I have like 30 days left on this tree monitor, let it hatch in the new incubator. So I put it from that incubator, the wine cooler one, into the walk-in one. So I don't know if that was like a way too much of a drastic change, maybe at the wrong time to that egg.
Right.
And then to have all these chondros go down like this too. It's kind of it's like, what the fuck? Crazy. Yeah. And there's airflow, bro. Listen, I trap myself. I go inside my walk-in incubator. I close the door. I could breathe in there. So airflow, it's not like a breathing thing.
The reason I asked is so Alex brought me up the one. He's listening. So we hatched one singular baby.
Oh,
and
cool.
It's Jaya Biak.
That's pretty. Oh, man, that thing. When did you hatch
dorsal
that?
stripe? When was it that it hatched? September. Yeah. Dude, this thing is a monster. So you want to talk about
that thing looks beastie, bro.
You want to talk about fucking failures, dude? So tree monitors is the first thing we've ever hatched. Period. Reptiles related. So tree monitor eggs was the first thing that we ever did, and then we've never incubated snake eggs. So we got
all maternal. Or you're saying that you're just like, you never had that experience?
We've just never had the experience of incubating snake eggs. So we've never bred snakes. We've now bred boas too, but we've never had snakes, right? And so we get these eggs from this Jaya. She laid 16, 14, 16 good eggs, all good. They were dry. Had no fucking idea because we didn't know what dry eggs looked like because we've never had the experience. So we're like, we could kind of tell they're dry, but we're like, the sim should pop them back up. They should be good. So what we did was we started 87, and then after 30 days, dropped the temp back down to like 84, 84 and a half.
Mm-hmm.
So we started high, dropped temp like 30 days into incubation. All was doing good except for we should have put them on moss to like rehydrate the eggs, and we never did. So what we ended up with was 40. Okay. Yeah, he remembers it better than I do with the snakes. But we got one good egg that made it, and then fucking 8 or 9 that were mostly formed and dead in the egg.
And from what you guys could really point your finger on, is what the hydration part, as far
The
as
hydration for sure. Yeah, we should have put them on moss. They were just dehydrated. No, they were dry. The moss that she laid the eggs in, it just wasn't damp enough, and I didn't know. And so we should have recognized that and then put them into the sim on more moss that was better hydrated to fill them up faster. But just the moisture in the air in the sim just couldn't bring them back.
Your sim is over water though, right? So
Yeah.
or you know, okay. So what you're saying is you put them in a sim container regularly, but with the moss. So you just take them all together with the moss, like that's what you're saying is what you should have done?
I'm saying I would have taken other moss and hydrated that moss, placed it in there, and put the eggs on that.
So
I've had to do that with tree monitor eggs, and it works every fucking time.
And I seen that. That's one thing I was like, we were talking about Brian Susan, and I noticed he posted a video of blue trees hatching, and I saw moss like in his thing, and I'm like, well, fuck, why didn't I do that? But
same with Vanessa. Yeah, I was telling her about that, and so she had. If you look at Vanessa Crutchfield's post, she just had an egg pip and hatch, and it's totally good. But like 2 to 3 weeks ago, this egg was denting really fucking badly, and when they dent really hard like that before they hatch, it could kill them. I don't know why. But if they dent way too much, too fast, it's just like they're going to be dead in the egg by the time the others pip. So I just told her what I do. I just put really like not super like sopping wet moss, but I put moss around them to try to rehydrate the egg. It puffed back up, and a couple days ago it hatched.
And so not even the water was enough to do that to the egg, is what you're saying.
It's the direct contact of like the higher concentration, I think.
Oh my God. I guarantee that changes everything. I guarantee it does. I mean, I could be full of shit, but I'm telling you, I've never done the moss thing with my eggs because first and foremost, I see people who put the eggs directly in vermiculite and stuff, and I'm just paranoid. I don't think I'm still a noob, so I feel like, dude, that egg's gonna get wet, and even with moss, like I would be scared to either feel like it's too wet or something like that. So how much would you spray on the moss?
On the moss, so like if I'm in a hurry, I will just run my faucet until it's like 90 degrees.
Right.
Because by the time it gets in there, it's going to be cooled off a little bit, but I'll run it till it's like 90 degrees, and I'll squeeze every last drop of water out of it that I can.
Okay.
So it's just ever so slightly wet, because also what it's going to do is while it sits in the incubator, it's just going to collect water out of the air.
Oh.
So.
God, that could change everything.
But like sphagnum moss is a natural antibacterial. It's like it will naturally like fight off mold.
Shout to AB, man. He says puts moss towards the end of the monitors. They release a bit of moisture, and the moss helps absorb it. So that obviously keeps the egg from sweating and doing that type of thing.
Yeah, and his is the opposite case. So mine is I need more moisture. His is he needs less because he's probably really humid.
Yeah. So we're talking chondros compared to monitors. So you're right. So it would be it would work in both cases. Though is what you're saying.
Yeah. It's just. Is it dry moss or is it wet moss? And it works with the monitors and the chondros. It just depends on what your need is.
So if we were to put the moss in for the monitors, it would be dry moss, is what you're saying.
It totally depends. If I do it with the monitors, like for my use, it's wet moss. And like with what Vanessa did, it was wet too. But with Aiden, because his eggs sweat, my eggs never sweat. My eggs dent.
Oh, got it.
If they're denting, you add wet moss. If they're sweating, you add dry moss. That seems to be the.
So let's talk about this then, Cody. I mean, like if I'm telling you, I'm looking at the temps in my incubator and I'm in there and I could breathe. could we really point the issue on my incubator, you think? Or do you feel like it could just be more of the egg box not being where it needs to be at certain times? Because I always feel like I make it this far, bro. I mean, obviously
Really?
with the tree monitors, no. Like this is my first time, obviously, but this is my 4th year with the green trees, getting them full fucking termed. They look like they should be here, and they're not. It's 4th time. You know what I mean?
That's fucking crazy. See, this was again, this was our first and only clutch of snake eggs. I am no fucking expert in that field. I take a lot of notes when it comes to incubation, though. I'm kind of a crackhead with it sometimes. I can't see any behind me right now, but this is my incubator right here. There's 5 tree monitor eggs in there. You can kind of see.
That's how big. That's basically how big my wine cooler thing was. And dude, temps were. You know what I mean?
But sim over water. And it's actually a perfect example. I will pull this out. I do not even fucking care.
I love your Guitar Hero thing in the background, by the way.
Oh, thanks, man. Dude, I still play on PC every once in a while.
I love it. That makes me happy.
But so there you go.
Let's check them out, man. This is so epic.
5 good looking eggs. And you can see the moss, right?
What day are those eggs? Those eggs look pretty well off. What day are they?
60. But yeah. I know I'm gonna get yelled at by a couple people for taking these out of the incubator, but I do not care.
Not your eggs. Not your eggs. So you can't be mad.
Yeah, mind your business.
Mind your business. Get your own eggs.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this. I mean, obviously, I've like right now with my eggs, I have 3 that are pearly white, and then I have one that's like a little brown. Not brown, but it's just darker. Have you ever had that case of an egg and then they still go the distance and no problem?
Totally. So it seems like there's like a lot of factors in like coloration in the eggs and shit. Like if she holds them too long, they could develop. I was told they're called oocytes, which is like not windows, but like little marks all over the sides of the egg, which you would think it's infertile, but they could still be fucking fine. I've hatched multiple eggs that look like that. I think I'm up to 21 green trees that I've hatched now. Green tree monitors. 21, something like that.
21, bro. That's awesome.
In, I don't know, 2.5 years, 3 years. Off 1 pair. Yep.
But, you know, it took you, again, remind me, 2 clutches and before you got that going? Or how many clutches in the incubator until you actually hatched out your first one?
I think I misspoke earlier. It was infertiles. 1 was fertile, went the distance, and then died in the egg. And then the 3rd clutch I finally hatched.
Okay, let's go to the one that died in the egg real quick. Hate to bring it up, but I'm just saying.
Oh, you're fine.
What was the approach? Did it like show like you needed a cut, or did it pip and then died? How did it like? How did you have to discover it dead in the egg?
It was denting really fucking bad on the bottom, like I mentioned. Oh, that's why I was bringing up Matt. So Matt Kosman and Nick Gill. I hit both of them up, and I'm like, hey, this egg is really fucking dented. Is this normal? What do I do? I don't know what's going on. And they're just like, if it's denting that bad on the bottom specifically, when the eggs dent really bad on the bottom, it's usually dead in the egg. And I'm like, well, fuck. Yeah. What do I do? And they're like, cut it open. It's probably dead. I'm like, no, I'll give it a couple days. And then it started to mold. So I'm like, okay, it must be fucking dead. So I cut it open. It wasn't dead. It was basically dead. Right. But it was just like it had a little bit of breath in it, but it was like way fucking underdeveloped. It was super discolored, and you could see like the heartbeat going, the breath going a little bit. And what day was this? What day was this? I'm sorry. What day was this? You're good. So that was when we were doing 86 degrees temp, and it was day 130. So it was kind of like I would have assumed at 86 degrees it should have hatched like 5 days later, and it was nowhere near that done. Like looking back. Mine was more developed than yours, is what you're saying? Yeah, way more. Because mine looked good, but the heart, its chest was just open, and all its organs was there, and it was like I had one other that actually hatched with a deformity. Hey, dude, did I tell you there were scratches on the egg? Like there was. Yeah, you did. That's fucking weird. So, dude, I don't know if that thing was trying to just get out before it died. It was freaking out. I don't know, man. It wasn't sweating, was it? The egg? No. I've been dude. I mean, I try not to mess with it, but because how far we were into it, I was making sure this thing was still.
all it was doing was growing bigger. Like this egg was getting bigger and bigger, and I was like, wow, this egg's like growing. Like
Right.
from the initial part when she dropped it to where it's at now, it's like double in size. And then the next morning, like I normally check in, I noticed yolk coming from the side, but it was like not clear. It was like yellow. It was like pussy looking, and I was like, oh,
really? Okay,
I was like,
weird.
that is not good. Like it looked like I don't know, like
So
a
with
cream type shit.
right, oh yeah. So what's weird is that's what their yolk looks like.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's
Okay,
normal.
So that's normal. Okay.
So that's normal. So the one that I had hatch about a year ago pipped fine, but what was really weird, so they're supposed to have an umbilicus, right? Like a cord that comes out and there's a massive yolk at the end of it, and they just slowly absorb the yolk over time.
Right.
This one, the yolk was inside of its stomach, and it solidified in its stomach, and there was no cord, so there's no way to remove it. So this fucking thing just died after 2 days.
Oh.
That's the only deformity I've ever had. But I will say, it was the end of last summer that happened. I had 4 eggs. All 4 went the distance. That one died, so I had 3 that made it. That was right after a really hot summer, and my house got up to like 87 degrees 3 fucking times. So I think that's what did it, because I dropped my incubator down to 85. So I think that jump of 2 degrees, 2.5 degrees killed it.
Yeah, like I said, the only thing I could really wrap my head around in this situation is the fact that there was that spike of heat. Like we're talking about the spike of heat that I had in this room, which was at least a couple degrees, right? But then also
outside temp related caused that.
Yeah, just because how hot it got. Like it's literally just the ambient in my room, right? Because like I said, I've just got a mini split put in here, but before I was just, first I wasn't having to worry about it because my room was getting 80, 81 degrees, and that's how I want my room during the day. But then there was times where, like because of the slight change outside of heat or whatever, this room got to like 84, 85, and whatever got up in here got up inside the incubator. You know what I mean?
True. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and that's why I was like, holy shit, so, and also too, like, I don't know, man, I feel like, and I can't really beat myself over this because it's like one of those should have, could have's, but I feel like if I would have just left that thing in the wine cooler, it might have been a different scenario.
Maybe. Is the one that you're using now, is that like the hot box, or is it like an actual refrigerator? Like, does it have the insulation and everything of a refrigerator?
How about the mini fridge that I was using?
No, the one that you're using now.
Oh, it's a closet. It's a walk-in.
Okay.
It's a walk-in incubator.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
10 feet tall, 3 feet across, 3 feet deep. Like
okay.
You literally open it. There's a big ass door, like a normal door. You open and you walk right in, and there it is.
Okay.
So it's 88.
Gotcha.
It's 88 at the very top, 87 at the middle, and at the bottom rack it's 85 exactly. That's how
gotcha.
How it is.
Interesting. That's really interesting.
Yeah, and at the floor it's 83, 84, 83 and a half.
Gotcha. 80. So what I've been looking into, what I've been looking into is the Wilbanks incubators. Those things are fucking sick, dude. I messaged you about them the other day.
Yeah.
I saw them at Tinley for the first time. Those things are clean.
They're boss. Yeah, they're super sick, but it's also like it's a big door too. You know what I mean? So that's why I feel like I don't think it's, like I said, I don't know if it's the fluctuation that I'm really kind of betting on what did this to the animal. I don't know. Listen, at the end of the day, time will tell, right, Cody? Because I have 4 more eggs in there.
Right. Oh, totally.
Yeah, and I still have, I have another chondro clutch that's due. So it's like, it's, and we got to remember that these species that we're talking about are very delicate, and these are hard things to fucking get going, like to cook. Like I talked to Ryan Young about this, and Ryan Young is like, hey man, you can't just say, oh, it's my incubator. You're also looking at 2 really difficult species that everybody has problems with.
Yeah.
So
humidity has to be on point, temp on point.
Yeah.
Fucking everything. No, and actually, I mean, of course, I listened to your fucking episode with Parker last week, and I wanted to talk about this. Funny enough, you guys were talking about incubation temperatures, and he was talking about like the ranges of temperatures that is typical. And he said, usually 82 to 86, 84 is the safe spot. I totally fucking agree with that. But I read a paper recently, and it was so crazy. Somebody and so 80, let's say 85 degrees, 150, 155 days to hatch tree monitors.
That's what I've been doing. Yeah.
Yeah. Somebody in the UK incubated them at like 76 degrees. And they hatched at like over 230 days.
And they look fine and everything was
Yeah.
good.
And they're fucking massive. Crazy, right?
You're better off going lower than over is what you're saying. So
I think 83, 84 is the sweet spot. Just me. Because 84, you're going to add probably 20, 30 days to the incubation time, but they're going to come out way fatter. And statistically speaking, the number of them that come out fully healed is a lot higher versus ones pipping, being skinny, and still having some yolk left over.
Right.
So I think 84 is a lot better. I went from 86 to 85.5 down to 85, and I might even go to 84 just because they come out healthier.
So you do 83.5 or 83? What's your go-to?
I think 84.
84.
I'd say 84.
All right, depressing time. Sorry guys, but I have to share. But here it is. So that mucus right there, that's normal, is what you're saying.
Totally fucking normal. It's just it looks like the yolk,
shit.
it looks like the yolk sac might have popped open, is what it is. Usually it's contained, but when it's all fluid like that, like if it gets popped, it's gonna fucking.
So Mike Stefani shout out to Mike Stefani, but Mike Stefani always gave me the caution of eggs popping, eggs bursting. Do you think that was the case in this scenario? Like, did it burst? I mean, because like I said,
I think there's a chance.
Yeah, and like that's from like the air pressure or something like that. He was saying.
So that's why I asked you if it was sweating, because usually if they sweat, they have a lot higher chance of popping.
It wasn't sweating though.
Exactly, that's weird.
There was no sweat on the egg. There was zero sweat.
Yeah, it's like a vacuum it creates basically. So like with the Sims, it's really nice because John, especially with the XLs, puts like the little pinholes in the lids. So when you pop the lid, it's not creating like a vacuum of pressure that's like, suctioning everything.
It's not like clamped down. Like it's almost, it's slightly lifted a little bit.
Yes. And so because it's like that, that's helping alleviate the possibility of bursting eggs. But I have seen a dozen people say, yeah, I peeled the lid back on my incubator and I just did it too quick, and just the fast opening of it, like the suction from it, popped the eggs just like right in front of them.
God. So, but I noticed you don't use an XL. You have a small sim and you completely press down.
Oh yeah, I press down hard on it, but then when I open it, I just like slowly peel a corner.
You're not
so that way. I think it's. I don't know the fucking science behind it, but I think it's just like the rapid opening of it and the vacuum effect that it makes. But I have XLs. That's just what I put in there for now. So you would use an XL if you had to choose smaller XL, you would use an XL. I like XL more. The fucking I mean, you saw the dividers John has now, right? Yo, they're sick. I love them. I make those. That's all me. Oh, that was, I forget about you. God damn it. I'm like, fuck, man. Like, I mean, I feel like we've known each other through like other acquaintances. Right, dude. That's how. John. Yeah. Sponsor, man. Guys, listen, I want to tell you right now, Cody's on his shit with these 3D designs for sim containers. And yeah, let's talk about it, man. Let's where did this design come from? Dude, all John, all his idea. He just hit me up one day. So kind of originally how it happened. I'll backtrack a little bit. Sure. Originally how it happened was I knew I was expecting a clutch of green tree pythons, right? The one hatched, whatever. That aside, I knew I was expecting those, so I hit up John and I'm like, hey man, I have this idea. Do you care if I make this, because I'm designing it for your product? I won't sell it without your go ahead. I won't do any of this, but I want to make a perch that snaps into the grate in the XL. And he was like, hey, I think that's an awesome fucking idea. Let me see it when it's done. So I made it, and he was like, you know what? I love it. Let me sell some of them. So I think you ended up with some, or you saw some at October. No, he just sent me some, so I have some. Yeah, so that was me. And then after that, he just liked how quick I knocked them out. So he, a couple months later, hit me up and he's like, hey, I have this idea for a divider. I want it to go all the way up and sit on top of the rail that's in there. And I was like, okay, I'll figure it out. And so it was all his idea. And so that's why I'm like, fuck it. I just sent him 50 something more of them in the mail. Sick. So he's stocked up on them for those that need them. They're sick though. I now, because of those, I prefer the XL with the divider over these. Right. Yeah, man. Get over to Sim Container.
put in your order if you can, you know, because the thing about Sims, you know, he puts in massive orders every so often, and once he's out, then you have to wait for that next massive order. So I from what I know, he's still pumping them out, and people are still getting sim containers in. So head over to Sim Container, guys. Seriously, man, go get yourself a sim container. But yeah, you know, I've had also Uncle Mike and other people tell me, always put the eggs in an XL. Don't put them in a smaller sim.
I could see that.
Yeah, I don't know, man. But here's the thing too, Cody. There's so many different methods you could decide to go with, because so many different things work for different people, and you just got to figure it out, man. Like
you know what I think that is? Where you live in the U.S.
Yeah, demographically, hello. I think that has everything to do with everything. Like
the ambient, the barometric pressure, the ambient temps, humidity. Dude, I cannot do the same thing in Nebraska that Vanessa does in Florida. It doesn't fucking work for me. She told me she has to vent her sim containers like 2 or 3 times a week to make sure that they don't get too humid. And I'm like, if I did that here, my eggs would be dried fucking raisins.
Right.
So like it's totally, even incubation is dependent on where you live, man.
How often are you even looking at your eggs? Like obviously you look at the numbers, like, how often are you taking them out and opening the lid like you just did right now?
Actually opening it, I don't do it until at least a month in, because I don't want them to dry out. So you saw that there's moss in there. I was going to say that.
Right.
The moss is in there because when she laid them, they were great. The next day they started to dent. If you don't correct that denting fucking right away, they're going to mold and go bad. So I grabbed some wet moss, did exactly what I told you, run it all the way out, put moss along the sides. Kind of what it's a trial and error. I'm still learning. I'm still trying to figure it out. But kind of what I'm learning, the last clutch, I put moss down and I put the egg on top of it. And it seemed like it was creating like a layer of water that was trapped between the egg and the moss. So the bottom of the egg started to get too wet and started to sweat. So now I put the egg down and I put moss along the sides of it, just like very lightly touching it. All my eggs filled right back up.
That makes sense, because obviously the moss collects moisture, and by the egg being on top of that moss is going to get the egg wet, and that's what happens.
But I would say every other day I walk in, grab my flashlight, pop it in here, and I just go, okay, yep, still look good.
Right.
I check on them every day.
When did my sheet? Let's see. Okay, 420. So I'm 30 days in right now of this next clutch. 30 days in. I did check them. I picked them up today because, you know, it's funny that you said the whole denting underneath. I noticed when those other 2 eggs from the very first clutch went bad is when I saw denting underneath, and I was like, oh, that's not good, right? So I
dent underneath first.
Yeah. I just wanted to make sure that this wasn't happening with them. These are all nice, well-rounded. They look good, and fucking, even though the other one did, but should I add moss at this point? You would think at this point, go ahead.
Not even necessary.
Or just leave it alone.
If they look good after a week and they're not denting anywhere, fucking leave them.
Okay.
Honestly, but yeah, I don't know. Like I said, it's a lot of where you live, but I got it pretty dialed in here. I like the moss; it helps a lot.
Yeah, man. And that's why it's like, it's almost like a blessing and a curse to know so many successful people in the reptile industry, because you want to take advice from all of them, right? And all of them want you to do good for the most part. You know, I mean, I know all my friends give me advice with all good intentions, right? But god damn, man, every advice that they're giving you is stuff that they figured out on their own at where they live. So it's kind of like, it's like, give me the cheat. It's like you're asking for cheat codes, or you're asking for you're asking for answers to a test with different questions. Yeah, it's like, dude, the answers you're looking for are different questions of the test. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So that's exactly. It's crazy how I'm thinking about that right now. So that's why it's like, first and foremost, if things die, then take it as it is. And it's like, it's still progress. Like the fact that I got that, you know, I look at it like this now. The fact that I got that close to producing that tree monitor, bro, come on, we're getting.
Oh yeah, I'm confident you'll get there with this clutch. I'll put my money on that. But no, what I will say is, if you have, you know, the same shit happen 3 fucking times in a row and everything dies in the egg every time, and you don't change anything,
right? Then there you go.
At that point, you got to look at what you're doing. Right. But like, if you're experimenting, you'll get there eventually. It's just experimenting and taking notes so that you know what you changed and what that change caused. That's it. And then if you compare to others, like Kai was one of the biggest people that I bounced shit off of, because I told you I moved, and then they started to breed because of the temp changes. So I'm bouncing that off Kai, and he goes, "Hey, that's kind of what I do for the mangroves. I do it this way instead." So I'm using him, and then I'm talking to Nick, and I'm talking to Matt, and I'm talking to this person and this person, and then I kind of just, best way to put it is I'll say, you know, Kai incubates at 86. This person incubates at 84. This person incubates at 82. I'll go in the middle, and I'll try that, and then I just kind of collect everything that I can, and then I go for the median route and see how I like it, and then I'll fine tune from there.
It makes no sense. And like I said, all the homies who've been giving me advice, I'm very blessed, but I don't know why I haven't called Kai. Kai's from my fucking part of the country. Like
He'd
that's
be
my
able to help
go-to.
you so well.
Hello.
Yeah. He would help you so well.
He's already hit me up.
honestly.
He's like, MJ, hit me up if you have any questions. And I'm just like, here's the thing, man. I as much as I like, I don't like, let me take that back. But as much as I show my failures, I take it hard sometimes. Like and so people always like come to me and say, "Hey, do you want to talk about it?" And there's times where I'm like, I just don't want to.
No.
Like, I not right now, man.
Yeah, give me a couple weeks.
Because they want to bounce back and forth. Like, what do you think it is? And like, you know, a lot of people have their assumptions, which is fine. But when you hear so many, oh, it could be this, it could be that. It's like, I don't want to fucking write. Like, you know what?
Dude,
Let's see what happens with these next eggs, and we'll go from there. But like, man, it's that's why it's like, it could be tough, bro. Because like, listen, all I want is to be successful at this, Cody. Like,
dude.
Want to, like, literally, I dream when you post pics of your babies and the homie Brandon Van Asten does and all it's like, it gets my heart racing because I want that. Like, I want that just as bad as a chondro fucking clutch, you know? But I also know it's worth it, you know, going through this. Like, it's gonna be because I'm not the only one, Cody. You're just talking about how you had one dead in the egg. Like, you gotta go through this shit. Not everyone does, though. It's a small percentage of people who just get successful at this right off the bat. Really small.
I would say, I mean, maybe this is a hindsight thing, and I wouldn't say it in the moment as, you know, me 3 years ago, but if I had the shit spoon fed to me off the start, I don't think it would be as satisfying.
Because think about how many people would be doing this shit too.
Yeah.
Like, if it wasn't this difficult, bro, this would be a ball python game. It'd be saturated.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But the way I see it is, it's so rare, and even if it ever becomes like a streamlined process, do this, get eggs.
Yeah.
It still requires enough parameters that I don't think it'll ever get to that point of ball pythons, which is why I say, dude, if you want help, I'll tell you what I know, because if you hatch, you know, fucking 20 green trees a year and sell them, you're not taking out of my pocket. I don't think that's ever a thing. I don't have any problem selling mine, so I'm glad to help people. I don't fucking care. It's not taken from me.
Yeah. I noticed, and this is probably because I'm 7 years deep into this, and maybe I've done a little bit of this in the beginning, but, you know, somebody finds out that something isn't so easy to do, and then they attain that project, and even before they breed it, they think that they're going to be so good at it, right? They're like almost giving advice before they even fucking produce shit, you know? And I get it. That's excitement. It's awesome. But I feel like there's got to be a balance. Like, there's got to be, like, you know, like, kids, you know, and he's my good friend of mine, you know, JP from the ball python industry. He came into this where he was linking up with people and investing heavy money into it, but then also going on YouTube and telling people how to breed. And he's never had his first clutch. And it's like, yo, like, dude, what's like, even though it's ball pythons, it's like, bro, you haven't even produced anything yet. Like,
yeah, there's a lot of moments that'll be humbling in that. That's all I'll say.
And that's for sure, because fuck, man, like, even I have to call my own Patreon members calm down sometimes, because they get into the green tree game, the python game, green tree python game, and they go, man, I just got locks. I mean, this is like, I don't know. I
got eggs around the corner.
Yeah, like,
right.
People think this is so hard. I'm like, yeah, wait, motherfucker, keep
that's
going.
Not the hard part.
Oh, that's right.
Dude.
Like, getting eggs is literally, I feel like, easy as shit. You know, it's literally months after the egg is where really the whole, like, you're going to either get socked in the fucking stomach right now, or in a few months, or in a few weeks, or I don't know, at some point. It's going to happen. So that's why it's like, you know, even people who come into this game and have success right away, At some point in time, you're gonna get kicked in the nuts.
Yeah. Oh, dude, absolutely. Yeah, totally.
It's life.
And I try to be very. It's kind of a double-edged sword because I'm always like, hey, try to figure shit out before you go knocking on everybody's door asking how to do shit.
Yeah.
Like if you bought tree monitors yesterday, don't message me asking how to breed them. You got to learn how to take care of the animal first. That's a quote from Kai directly because he gets the shit all the time too. But with that said, I'm a hypocrite in the sense that like every time I fuck something up, I'll post about it and be like, hey, I did this, I fucked up, don't do what I did.
Yeah, that's why I do things like, I had someone today hit me up and he's like, hey man, all this negative stuff you're posting is going to help the hobby. And I'm like, well, I don't look at it as negative first and foremost, because this is like, it's sad, it's unfortunate, but everything, every win comes with multiple losses or even just one loss, right? So I'm just like, I want people to know what I go through and what I'm willing to go through to fucking figure this shit out. If the next 3 years is monitors dying in the eggs, purposely I don't want to do that, but if that's what I have to fucking deal with, then so be it. But I'm not going to stop evolving. Like I'm not going to stop hitting you up and brainstorming with people and trying to figure this shit out. But Cody, well, just as I do, if you don't give up, you figure it out. You do figure it out. Unless you're just a brute fucking dumbass, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
dude, I will say this till I'm blue in the face. Take fucking notes and you'll figure it out.
Yes.
Take notes, write down what happened, and then the next time take notes, write down what happened, and compare the two, and you will see similarities, you will see differences, and then you could try to connect the dots and see why, what happened for what reason.
I think another big double-edged sword that we're dealing with in any department of the reptile industry is social media, man, because social media, we're talking about these people who want to be something that they're not yet. It's because of social media. Like they're
totally.
They got a couple reels and shit, and they got a few thousand followers, and now they're like, they mentally put themselves in a department of like professional animal keeper now. And it's like, motherfucker, you started 3-4 years ago. Like, and I don't even like the term experts, but I do know that there's legit experts out there. But we're talking experts of 20, 30, 40 years of experience. You know what I mean? But
totally, dude. Yeah, and to like, I don't know, I see it all the time, but like, fucking look at any Facebook group, right? Like the kid that got their first ball python 6 months ago is an expert, and then this person that's been breeding him for 30 years knows nothing. It's it's Facebook. The Facebook groups are fucking awful, but
I mean, and honestly, I get why some of the ball python people get clowned so hard, is because literally, like, they're trying to flex them breeding ball pythons. Like, are you like and I get it. Like when you hit certain like projects, like, holy shit, that's a cool looking snake.
It's satisfying. Yeah.
But don't think you're fucking on some sort of level because you got 20 ball python clutches. Like, motherfucker, like fucking a blind man could do that in a closet full of shoe boxes. Like that.
Right. You know dude. No, I hear you. You had Ryan Ehrlich on here.
Yeah. So Ryan, aesthetic selection reptiles.
He's local to me. He used to be in the Omaha show. He's a cool fucking dude.
I like that kid, man. He's a really, really cool kid. One of the sayings that he had, because we were talking about the morph market thing and all these fucking people, like, beanball python people. And he was just like, yo, it's not that deep, like,
literally, it ain't that deep.
If you want to look at all the drama so far this year, and I don't think it's going to stop. I think it's still coming. This is the year of the drama with big companies and all. It's weird. A lot of shit's being exposed. But
all the old heads are finally catching up with social media, man.
And none of it is even that deep, bro.
No,
like,
none of it.
Petty, stupid. It's like, really, like, people are not focused on their animals. They're not focused on what matters, and they're bitching about who knows what, man. And I just think it's just humans ruining what humans are doing.
Dude, one of my favorite things I used to do, I'm very guilty of it, but I'd say some dumb shit in a Facebook group, and then I'd go fuck off and take care of my animals. And then literally. And then I'd have people blowing up my notifications, and I'm like, I'm not even looking at this. I'm cleaning animals, or I'm feeding shit, or I'm working. Like, I just said some dumb shit to get under your skin. I'm gone.
Obviously, I don't do that as much, but man, I did that recently just because I'm like, fuck these people. And when I'm talking about all those dickhead fucking shit talkers in the morph market comment threads, like, literally people not selling people not selling any snakes. They're really irrelevant. They're sticker swappers. They literally become like something in their head because they swap stickers with somebody, but they're the biggest fucking voice in the comments, right? So, you know, I mean, I had this one guy like, oh yeah, I unfollowed and muted and stopped watching MJ stuff a year ago, and it's like, who the fuck asked you? And
damn, your opinion matters. I didn't know
yeah,
that.
and I remember like, you know, I'm just like, dude, I can't help but to look, because most of the call me fucking judgmental, I don't give a fuck, but most of these fucking degenerates talking shit on Facebook are so ugly. Like they are fucking ugly. So this guy, like he said something to me, and I'm like, bro, have you seen your face? Like all I said, that's all I said. I was like, bro, go look at your face right now. Like you are too worried about other people besides, like, go fix your face. And this guy's face was like,
oh my god,
it was like holy shit, bro. Like, but it all makes sense. The most miserable, ugly, depressed, degenerate types of people have the biggest mouth on Facebook. And
absolutely.
And that's why it's like, now I know why people like on a certain level of whatever it is that they're doing don't even look at comments, because it's like you're always gonna have someone bitching and someone who's just not on your level, man. And people love complaining on other people who aren't on your level. Cody, I'm not gonna lie, man. Eddie from Father Blue, right? You know, I understand that you guys might not see eye to eye, but I don't like how one side makes the other side look, because you guys both do your own thing. I will say you're definitely a lot more established because you've been in the game for a long time, and Eddie's just more excited. But the thing is, you guys both have your own fans that like to talk shit on who's right and who's wrong. But that's like that on everything with reptile industry related. You have one side of the group who feels one way, and then you have one side that feels the other way. And I feel like, and it's not even maybe even you guys going at it, it's the people in the comments going at it. And that's why I feel like some of these, like, I don't know, I feel like you and Eddie should, I mean, hopefully at one point, I'm not trying to be a fucking relationship coach, but I feel like the way you guys really love tree monitors, someday you guys could hopefully maybe get on the phone together and talk and just whatever, work out whatever. But, you know, it just sucks that the toxicity of people who love to see you upset. Like when somebody sees Cody upset about something, I guarantee they want to ride with you. And that's fine. You have homies, but that right there, just it is kind of the typical fire starters of Facebook. Like you have
totally, yeah.
And then we talked about that. I'm like, bro, like I get it, like I totally get it, but now this is getting other people who want to argue and want to start talking shit out of the woodworks, you know. But like here's the other thing too, like we should be able to express how we feel, like that should be a thing, but other people just take it too far. Like they take it way too far, and it's like, why are you talking shit to that level now? And then next you know, it's not even about tree monitors, it's about personal attacks, and that's one thing. And like I said, this is everywhere, especially ball pythons, bro.
Oh, totally, yeah.
People get so personal and like, you know, just make things up. You know how many things were made up about me, like during this year, with me being a bully and shit. Like, you know, it was just kind of like, where is this coming from? But that's how people take one scenario and they spiral it and they take it for a long run, man. So
no, my piece I'll say on that is try being friends with them.
That's it. I mean, at the end of the day, it's like,
but I hear a lot, why do you waste your time on it? Dude, I don't keep up with what he does. I get 1,000 messages a day. Did you see so and so posted this? Did you see so and so posted that? Most of the time I try to ignore it.
See, those people I tell to fuck off. With all due respect, I just say, listen, I don't care. Because especially during the whole fucking me trying to be canceled for being a bully, every day I had one of my own people saying, bro, this is what they're saying about you. And I'm just like, bro, do me a favor. I don't care. Don't send it to me, because it ain't going to stop. And I'm not like, obviously, people aren't going to stop showing you shit because they know you're important to them when it comes to tree monitors.
Right.
So I think at the end of the day, man, like you're going to have to be the one like, hey, bro, unless it ain't nothing related to my tree monitors, or like unless you want to buy something or we're talking tree monitors, don't fucking, I just don't care.
Yeah.
And I made that very clear with my Patreon members. Like, bro, I just don't give
totally. No. And that's probably for the best. I had some friends keeping me level headed when shit happens.
We need those friends, Cody.
You were one of them. You were one of them.
Respect, because I have people like that too. Mind you, man, I've had people look at, like, I have issues, man. Like if you get me going on something, even my wife could be like, babe, stop. And I'm like, no, fuck that. Dude. I gotta say this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Obviously, you know, alcohol was a huge influence when I was getting accused of being a bully, because I just didn't give a fuck. And I had no filter. But, you know, I don't know, man. I just want to evolve. Don't we just want to evolve? Don't we want to get better? Like this
Totally.
is why I do this, because we could talk about shit that could obviously put a light bulb in somebody's head, and we could just evolve as a goddamn industry.
Right. Oh no, absolutely. I couldn't care less if I don't get along with. There's plenty of fucking people I don't get along with.
That's life. That's his life, bro. Like, I mean, look, I mean, tell me, I got people that try to pretend that they get along with me, but they know they don't like me. And it's like, dude, I get it. Like, I get you're playing the politics game, but be real. It's okay.
Yeah. The only time I try to be good, I used to start a lot of shit. I mean, I'm self-aware. I was a shit talker. I played a lot of Call of Duty back in the day. Right, but no. Only time I chime in on shit anymore is if somebody's fucking with somebody's money, or a friend's money, or fucking with a friend's time, or my time. Otherwise, I keep my hands clean of the shit. I don't want anything to do with it. Not worth my time. Like fucking Monitor Fest yesterday. That was such a good time. I'm glad there's no fucking drama there. It was just a lot of good people hanging out.
I mean, with a crowd like that, how can there be drama, bro? Those are all dedicated fucking keepers to the monitors, man. You know how the young homie Alex fly out there from California. He's
a cool fucking dude. I met him for the first time. I've never talked to him before.
He's
great
sick,
dude.
Young cat, but he has like outdoor enclosures that are all.
He does, yeah.
He had, bro. I'm bringing.
I didn't expect the shit that he has. He's cool, man.
Dude, he has
cool, dude.
19-foot golden child retic, like a monster. Has lizards, bro, laces, you name it, man. Alex is that's what I'm saying. I look at that and I'm like, oh, the hobby is, even though we have shit happening,
right?
The future's bright. Go ahead.
He was introduced to me by Brian as a friend of Mason, and I'm like, oh, so he probably keeps cool shit. And he was like, yeah, I got lace and this and that. And I'm like, holy shit, Mason's cool as fuck too. I like
Mason, he's not as cool as Alex, but Mason's cool. I love Mason.
Fair.
Mason, we need to talk about that blue verified check mark, okay, buddy? I'm just saying, listen, buddy, don't be paying for that shit, dude.
Right? Oh my god. No,
that's my boy. I'm just kidding.
On what we were talking about earlier, though, the fucking just like the levels of learning from beginner and shit. No, it's been really cool. Like, I didn't think I'd still have shit that I'd be learning this far into breeding.
That's good.
I'm thinking about this because you're talking about, you know, being able to bounce shit off people, and like I went from every goddamn thing that I'm thinking about talking to Kai about it, like how do I incubate? How do I set up an incubator? How do I, like, all this entry level shit, and he's helping me with everything, to now, like, speaking of Brandon earlier, dude, it's crazy the different conversations I'm able to have now, like now that I kind of have a bearings for what I'm doing. And so now I could bounce like higher tier shit off of Brandon and try to actually hold a conversation with people like him, and it's really nice.
Well, even you, like, think about it. A year ago, we wouldn't be talking like this, because I wouldn't have this experience. I wouldn't have this like excitement to want to figure out why my monitor died in the egg and all sorts of shit. And that's why, I mean, it's crazy. I'm glad you mentioned that. You got to look back. Like, even though I have these failures, I got to see how far I've come in the last 5 years. Like, here we go talking about hatching out tree monitors, where, dude, there's people who tried it and they just didn't even get that far and they quit. You know what I mean? Because there's like, we got to talk about like compatibility, like your enclosures being in the right, you know, because if these monitors aren't happy, bro, if these tree monitors aren't in the best case scenario, you're not going to have success, from what I know.
Yeah. Oh, totally. I will say, hot take here. I think the word compatibility with tree monitors is fucking hilarious, because a lot of times when you hear people say compatibility, they're assuming crazy shit, making crazy assumptions. I've heard females won't breed or females won't cycle without a male present. Yes, the fuck they will. Females will lay eggs when they're by themselves. And then hearing, you know, it has to be compatible. This male has to select this female. If this female is cycling, this male will go after her. It's nature. And the only way I will even hear the compatibility argument is if your female laid eggs and the male did fucking nothing, because compatibility doesn't mean shit. She will still cycle. And even then, there's so much deeper to it. Were they raised together? Because this is one that I've heard. If they're raised together from a very young age, they could just be too fucking used to each other. So then the male just doesn't take interest. Sometimes they still do it, or usually. Is the male fat? Is anything off parameter wise? If the male's too obese, he just won't fucking care. I had that issue myself. I've had 2 of these really. I had a pair of Cordensis. The female cycled, laid 7 fucking eggs. Male did goddamn nothing. Didn't even take interest. You know what the solution is? If it's just a lack of interest thing, from what I'm gathering, separate them. Keep them separated. Get the female to cycle. Ultrasound if you have to. Figure out when she's about to go through vitellogenesis. And if you pair at the right time, it doesn't matter if he had no interest last time. It's the fact of him seeing her while she's already in a cycle will 9 times out of 10 trigger a reaction from him.
Right.
If he's fat, made him lose weight. I also went through that. I bought a pair of yellow trees last year, and female cycled, laid 5 eggs, and male locked with her 1 time and lost interest. He's shaped like the fucking Michelin Man. So he's been on a diet for 6-8 months now, and he looks really good. And I've been ultrasounding her, and she's starting to build follicles too. So
Yeah.
I'm expecting some good shit from them. But like, dude, there's so many variables behind why, and if you just look at this isn't working, it's the animal's fault, you're just throwing your own responsibility out the window.
I'm glad you mentioned that, because check this out, Cody. This is a prime example what you're speaking of. 2022, January of not this year, last year,
yeah,
is when this girl gave me her very first clutch. Infertile eggs. They weren't, they were no good. There were just 2 of them, right? And I was like, oh my god, yeah. But obviously the nesting was terrible. Like she laid them in a corkwood. She laid them in a cork up high, and everyone's like, yo, that's not normal. Like, and then
probably
I noticed
infertile or something.
Yeah. But I noticed that the egg box was like, she dropped a water bowl in there, and I just wasn't on it like how I should have.
Yeah.
And I noticed like, oh man, so a lot of errors, right? So I fixed the nest box situation, right? But then I noticed, and first and foremost, I never gave him a break, because she laid with the male in there and didn't do nothing to the male, thankfully, right? So I was able.
That's lucky.
Oh yeah, I was able to pull those eggs, but I left them in there, and I didn't pick this up at the time, but months went by, Cody, and other people told me, like, if everything's going well, they should go at it again. Like, they should lock up again, and she should give you eggs. And I want to say by summer, I'm like, dude, they haven't even shown not a fucking bit of interest, like nothing. And I'm thinking like, dude, I think, is he over her? Like, and mind you, I'm leaving food in there. I'm not tongue feeding. I'm just like, just
not monitoring how much she's taking in and shit.
Right. I'm just assuming. I'm like, because I would see her nibble every now. I'm like, oh, so she's eating, right? I would just assume, right? And then, like I said, months goes by, and I think October comes along, like 10 months later, right? And I'm like, and I get this, I get my new, this new enclosure for the laces, and the laces go from the 6 foot tall by 2 feet across enclosure into the big 8 foot one that I got him. And then I'm like, wow, well, maybe and I asked a bunch of people, I'm like, how would the tree monitors do in an enclosure that's 6 feet tall, 2 feet across? And they're like, oh man, they would love that. If you do it all right and you deck it out, like that'd be great. So I decked out this 6 foot tall enclosure, cork wood, did everything, put the female in there, and that's when I separated them. So then I put her in there, and I put the male in his own thing for about a couple months, but the female was eating off the forceps, doing her thing. And then come November, bro, I put him in there. Sure enough, bam, he's chasing her, and I'm like, holy shit, this is what I was looking for. Dude, the environment changed. I gotta tell you,
totally.
It was because I put her in something that she probably felt a little bit more safer in, because it was bigger. I went from it was like 4 foot tall to a 6 foot tall. But I think what it was is like, I got her comfortable eating off forceps and just eating.
And so she ate way more.
But I also think that male needed that break too. Like, that male, it's important to kind of let that male be alone for a little bit until he's like, well, I could use some poon right now. You know what I mean?
Right, dude. I saw a paper a while back, and I can't fucking find it again, but I saw a paper a while back that said they tested the sperm count on male lizards. It wasn't monitor lizards, so I'm just kind of saying maybe it's applicable, but sperm count on male lizards, and if they are kept at a constant high temp when they can benefit from temp cycling, they have a lower sperm count than males that get temp cycled. So the cooling period can be good for males for that regard. So maybe that's applicable to monitor lizards. So then maybe males do benefit from getting temp cycled too. But I would say on your 6 foot enclosure, I also wonder just brainstorming. I wonder if the height difference created a lower ambient in parts of the enclosure too,
Oh,
which
definitely.
could be why it triggered a cycle also.
Yeah.
I
Go
think it's very temp related now. Very.
Yeah. They need options, bro. They need that option. If you give them like, okay, there's that hot spot and then it's just 90 after that or high 80s. No, that's not it, man.
No.
If they want to dip away and be cold for a little bit, they need to be able to do that. And mind you, I have a mid and top hot spot for them. And then in the very left side of the corner, it's like 70, 74, 75 degrees. And she has that whole lower part. And then on the other warmer side of the bottom, it's like 80 degrees, 83, 84. And then it just keeps getting hotter and hotter as you get higher.
So, exactly. A gradient, man. That's all that fucking matters. My friend that I vend with at Tinley, my favorite thing that I like quote of his is, I don't give a fuck if you give it a 10 degree and a 200 degree, give it options.
Yeah.
Let it pick where it wants to be. And that gradient is so important. And like mine, dude, fucking 74, 73, 74 is what my house is set to during the day. And then at night, it's like 70, 71. The room that they're in probably gets down to 68 because they're on like a cold wood floor. But so they get down to 68 at night. And I don't put heat on them at night. They don't need it.
Yeah.
So I think it's very temp related. I used to be a psycho about it. I would hook up fans near the enclosures and run fans into them and just douse the shit out of it to simulate like a rain season with increased air pressure and like barometric pressure. And I would change their lighting and I would change their temperatures and I would change food. I'd do everything. And at this point, I've just been knocking one more thing off after another. And at this point, all I change is food temp.
So let me ask you this, Cody. I was thinking
talking about Ryan earlier.
I was thinking of your Instagram name, Riser, right? Is that Riser? Yeah. Okay, so I don't know
Riser, yeah.
What does that mean, by the way?
I don't know.
My computer screen name or something?
Yeah, it was
gamer.
Fun fact here. I used to be in a pro Call of Duty team, and
I knew it.
I used to. I made YouTube videos for a long fucking time, and I was in like one of the biggest Call of Duty YouTube channels.
Did you have expensive skins?
No, I left before that.
Okay.
But so like my YouTube channel that I still use now is like almost 4,000 subscribers, and I just don't fucking post to it. And
that's cool.
I was on a channel that when I quit, we had over 500,000.
Wow. So, holy shit. So you were in it.
Yeah, dude, that's I paid my way through most of college with that. I used to pay my bills with all that shit. I did that for a long time. So video editing, all that. But yeah, it was funny. It was what fucking movie was it? Ninja Assassin or some shit. And the main character's name was Raizu, but the one way a character said it sounded like Riser, and I was like, that sounds cool. I'll make that my gamer tag. And so that just became my name for everything.
How many clutches a year are you getting from one tree monitor? Like best case scenario?
4 every 90 days.
Wow. Okay. So let's kind of talk about real quick as far as because you're talking about how important temp cycling could be. Is that something you want to do maybe the week before reintroductory, or like when is it important to kind of drop those temps before you pair them back up? For you at least.
For me, so usually what I do is I just wait until I put the mail back in and then I drop the temps.
Together. Together you drop the temps. Oh, yep. Okay. And are we talking about maybe less like, because I do 12 hours, right? Are you always doing 12 hours? Or
so all of my pair enclosures have 2 basking spots.
Okay.
And I do 14 on, 10 off. So I do 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. When I temp cycle, I switch them to 14 on to 8 on. So they go from 7 to 9 to 10 to 5.
Okay, so it's 14 hours on or off when you go down
so I go from 14:10 to 8:16.
Got you.
Yep.
Okay.
So I delay it a couple hours in the morning. Maybe it's just confirmation bias, but
how long are you doing that for?
A month, 4 or 5 weeks. But maybe it's a confirmation bias thing, but I have an inkling that there's something with the females coming out expecting the sun to be there, and then it's not there for another 2 hours. And then they're just like, oh, it's still fucking cold. What do I do? Like,
yeah.
Maybe that's just like me overthinking shit. But I will say, the best example of this that I have, my yellow trees, she was fat, just like the male. I got them, they were both fat. I let them acclimate, I let them settle in, and then I temp cycled her. I did not fucking feed her. I fed her 1 time a week, dubias only. After 4 weeks of a lowered temp, she cycled. No increase in food.
Hmm.
And I think it was just all off reserved body fat.
Wow.
I think body fat and temperature is the most important factors at this point. That might change a year or two from now. But as of right now, I think their current body weight mixed with a temp to just like kickstart it. But with that said, like, you know, my green tree, I did this 3-4 times to get her going. Now, I just, hey, here's a big meal, and she goes.
Wow.
I think it's conditioning. I think if you have a female that's not doing anything just based on increased food, you have to stimulate it somehow. So then the temp is the stimulant. And then after 3-4 times of doing that, they will just be in the repetition of it to where they don't need the temp change.
Right. But you would say after that temp change is when you might want to spike up the food a little bit. So right after you kind of put things back to a normal temp change.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, fucking let her eat as much as she wants.
Got it. Okay.
That's how I do it.
And then how often are you tossing that rodent or do you not even do that at all? But I know every now and then maybe one will throw like a fuzzy or something.
So hot take. I know. I don't feed rodents to my males at all. I hardly even feed them quail.
I feel bad, man. I feel like I'm like, dude, I cooked her up, but I need to stop.
Yeah, dude.
I'll give him like a tiny little pink because I know he loves it, but it's like you don't need this. But
our male green and the male black tree will eat quite a bit of quail, but
yeah, quail's fine,
dude. The females, I don't feed them rodents. I mainly feed them bugs.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I start a cycle, I'll just go quail rodents only.
Okay, just quail rodents during the cycle. Mm-hmm. Okay. And what is it, every other day or every day if she wants it? How often are you feeding them in that moment?
Every other day, as much as they'll fucking take. Okay. And sometimes I even go food in the morning and then food at night just to see if they let it settle and want more.
You double down sometimes?
Yeah, I will like the easiest method I think is, so, I mean, you know how easy it is to just fill a cup with dubia and walk away.
Right.
I will just prolong filling the cup. I will go like mouse, quail, and then fill a cup with dubia. So that way they get all of the high protein. And then if they want more, then they go for the dubia.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Do you breed your own dubias or how do you manage
Dude, I'm so fucking bad with the dubias now.
Yeah, I'm something about it why I don't want to go in on it. I'm not an insect guy, man. Like I have fun with the grasshoppers. Grasshoppers are cool, but
right.
Something about the dubias, man. They creep me the fuck out.
I tried them so many times, and every time I forget to feed them for a month at a time, dude. I feel so bad.
You're like, oh shit.
Yeah, I'm like, oh fuck, I put that enclosure up there, didn't I? Like, oh man. So I forget about them. So Kim Halsen, somebody local in Omaha, she sells dubias. I buy a fucking pound and a half off her every 2 months and just toss them in the enclosures.
Keep them in a big bin and just let them and just go on.
Yeah, and I'm getting better about feeding them. Dude, I have such bad allergies to dubia though. It's like a cat allergy. Like my eyes get puffy and itchy and watery and like it's bad. Like just I pull the lid off the tub and I lean over it just instantly. Like I need a fucking respirator or something, man. But I'm getting better about feeding them. Kind of what I've resorted to now is like the grasshoppers, you know, they won't eat the hard white end off the romaine. Yeah, hardly ever. So I just like break the whole bottom off it and I throw it to the dubia and they eat that.
Yeah, that's good. That's what I do. I any kind of leftovers or that you know the husk part of the to the crickets or whatever whatever it is that I have, because I'm like you, I'll go pick stuff up, you know, and just and sit on it. But like you said, man, I remember one time I bought, because dubias are expensive, bro. Where I'm at, they fucking tax. And I remember I was like, I guess I'll get 15 of them, and I forgot I had them.
Oh my god!
I saw them in the bag. I'm like, oh shit! I forgot I had you. It was like a week later.
Dude, we traded fucking. Oh, I forgot what we traded it for, but we got a tub full of black Madagascar or black tiger Madagascar hissing roaches as pets. We got them in trade for something. And they were so fucking cool, and I would forget about them every time. And so I set them next to the dubious, thinking I'll remember to feed the dubious, so I'll feed these. Forgot about both of them. So yeah, I can't do bugs. Grasshoppers are the first thing that I've been consistent with, and I just think they're cool, so I'm better about keeping an eye on them.
Yeah. Check it out. I got a wrap up question for you. Even
Yeah,
though this could go another hour and a half, no fucking problem. I already know it.
Right, dude.
But anyways, I have a wrap up question before we get into some hot seat questions.
What's up?
Anyone out there, who either has a little bit of success or either way has the financial situation or the space to get into tree monitors. Let's hear it from Cody. What are some one-on-ones getting into tree monitors, brand new, no experience, maybe some knowledge because of the coolest reptile podcast in the world. But I'm just saying, what would be your just like your awareness or just your one-on-one when getting into the tree monitors?
Dude, I have actually sold a few babies to first-time keepers, so I've racked my brain on this a bunch, and just the number one thing I say is, if you want a tree monitor, figure out what breeder you want to buy it from. Do not buy wild caught if it's your first time.
Yeah.
If it's your second or I won't even say second. If it's your third or fourth, maybe buy one wild caught. But if it's your first time, just save yourself the heartache. Buy a captive bred. Source a good breeder for the species that you're interested in. If it's blue trees, Brandon, Brian Whitehead, Nick Gill, doesn't fucking matter. Find a breeder. There's info online for all of them. High wind, everybody, whether it's greens or whatever. Set up the enclosure, automate it as much as goddamn possible. Set the lights on automation, so they turn on and off automatically. Set a misting system on automatically to spray 2-3 times a day, whatever you want. And the feeder cups, as much as that you can do to make it so it's as little work for yourself as possible, so that way you can pay more attention to the body language of the animal.
But the whole misting part is important, you would say, right? Because I shout out to Alex. I can't pronounce his last name, but he works with Chinese water dragons. Yeah, shout out to my boy Alex. He's helped
Myers, right?
Myers, there you thank you. I don't know.
He was at Monitor Fest.
Why did I think his name was? Oh, his Instagram name is hard to say. Never mind.
Yeah. But yeah, he was at Monitor Fest. He's a cool fucking dude.
He's hiding. Why are you hiding in the picture, Alex? Tall ass motherfucker.
Right.
You can barely see his eyes, but I love that kid, man. Like,
he's smart as shit, dude.
He's so smart, man. Like, if I had that kid next to me, like living wise, I would every day I'd want to hang out with that guy, bro. I'm not even joking. But he's the one that he's like, hey MJ, because he was the one that helped me in the beginning. Like, I was like, Alex, my pairs they're not doing anything anymore. And he's like, separate them. And he told me to spray at least 2 times a day. And he said that when he was at RepTech, and he's, I guess, helped RepTech or was there when RepTech got their tree monitors going. And he said that what he noticed was when he started spraying more, success started coming shortly after that. And so you would say when it comes to this automatic mister, or even manually spraying, you spray a couple times a day at least, or how often are you spraying?
So I have 2 mist chains set up, one for one room, one for another.
It's hard.
Right. One of them I'm spraying. I play with it a lot. I do a lot of fucking experimenting. I'm kind of setting on spraying twice a day, a couple minutes. So if my lights come on at 7 a.m., my mist cane sprays at 8 a.m. for 2 minutes, and we'll spray again at 4 p.m. for 2 minutes. And then sometimes I'll set it to spray at night. Like in the winter, I have it spray at night at like 10 or 11 p.m. just to, help it stay a little bit more wet in there so it doesn't dry out as bad. Because it's dry as fucking Nebraska.
Yeah. But hold on, the second session of spraying is when the lights are still on, and then they turn on an hour after that, turn off an hour after that or so?
During the breeding, yeah, but otherwise they're on until 9 p.m. So yeah, it's the 2 minutes. I'm getting more into the longer but fewer sprays. So I used to do like 45 seconds, hour later, or 2 hours later, another 45, and I do like 45 seconds every couple hours. And I'm like, that doesn't feel natural at all. When does it fucking rain for 45 seconds? So I'm going to increase it to 2-3 minutes and then not spray and then spray again. One of the reasons, a dude on Instagram that I talked to, did a field study in Indonesia on not even tree monitors, but he did a field study on Indonesia, and he noted how almost every single morning it rained for like a good period of time.
Wow.
Before the sun really came out and got bright and hot. So it would wake up, sun starts to come out, rains, and then fucking heat. So that's kind of what I started doing.
So
I don't know if that's just one time of the year or what, but
do you think also this isn't a bad idea to like maybe have a lighter ambient light come on before the hot basking lights come on? Maybe like, so maybe like,
could be, yeah.
I don't know. The thing is, it's like, okay, you have to have two separate switches, I guess, like two, like you have to have that go on at a certain time, and it seems like more work, but also seems more realistic. Like have lighter, like have light out, but it's not too scorching hot. But then at some point of the day, it gets hot as shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's funny you say that. Most of the time, so when I have my lights set to the 1410 on off with the two baskings, one will turn on at 7 a.m. It'll spray at 8, and then my other light turns on at 9 a.m. So then I kind of do that. Yeah.
But you know, going back to what you're saying, how you don't ever see this getting to the level of ball pythons, it's because you know how many lazy motherfuckers they don't even want to do this. You know what I mean? But that's also why they shouldn't. I mean, if you're not willing to geek out the way me and this guy are talking about, like constant looking for changes and constantly looking to get better, get the fuck out of this game. This isn't for you. Like we need, and I'm not trying to say I'm a big deep thinker, but because of people like Cody and Brandon and Brian, makes me want to be a deep thinker. I can tell you that much. And it also just makes us interesting, bro. Like this, I don't know, man. I love challenges. Normally I don't like challenges. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a shortcut kind of guy, but fuck it, man. I want to earn this. I want to earn it, and I don't care if I have to go through this shit because I'm not the only one, you know.
Right. Give me 2 seconds. I'm gonna.
You're good.
I'm still here though.
2 hours went by quick. Jesus.
Shit,
I gotta say, man, another 2 hours could go by like nothing. I love this stuff. Tree monitor talk is like, man, it's my jam. I hope you guys are enjoying this. It's been a beautiful Sunday. I hope you guys don't mind getting the likes up for Cody if you haven't already, because this is a historical tree monitor episode. I already have the homie Brandon Van Asten shoot me a message on Instagram. I'm gonna talk to him after this. It's a good time, guys. I'm not gonna lie though, Patreon members, I love you. Can't do the Zoom after party because I have like 20 minutes before I have to get somewhere. So be mad at him. Don't be mad at me. Just kidding. Love you guys. But yeah, this is, come on, bonus. This is like a bonus informational tree monitor podcast for you guys and for me, obviously, because I'm loving to share this. My boy Josh in the building, Scale Fins and Feathers, who also has success breeding Persinuses, which is the green tree monitors. Glad you like it, Josh. This has been one hell of an episode. Definitely an episode I'm going to rewatch. And yeah, man, we're going to get this down. I think I think we're going to be all right, because you got to look at the end of the day, whatever incubation issues that you may have could be fixed with trial and errors. But as long as you're getting eggs, man, if you're getting eggs, you'll figure it out.
Oh, she's cutting me up, but
you pulled one out. Look at that. Oh man,
this is my female that lays all the eggs for me.
You get the big screen. You get the
word. Yeah, it's my breeder. It's my girl.
Flawless, bro. So that's an import.
Yeah, she's an import. I could touch her face. She doesn't give a shit, dude. I just worked. Well, so she came to me very social. I just worked with her a lot to, just increase that. But
I wish I could do that, bro. I cannot do that with mine.
Yep. Yeah, she doesn't give a fuck. Yeah, like Ton feeds weed out of my hand.
Her face. I'm so jealous right now.
Yeah, man. Yeah, no cares in the world.
That is so sick, bro.
And she was just locked with my male the last 3 days too. So I'm expecting eggs again.
What is it? What time is it over there? 10 o'clock almost?
Something like that, yeah.
So your lights are off or on right now?
They're on still.
Okay.
I haven't been temp cycling her, so lights are on. Oh, what fucking time is it? I don't even know. But yeah, the lights are still on for them. Some of my cages are off, some of them are on. 8:55, so they're gonna turn off in 5 minutes.
No, it's about to be 9. So you guys are 2 hours. You're central or east?
Central.
Oh shit! I thought you were east. Wow. Well, thanks for doing that. That was a bonus episode. I appreciate it. I've said this before. I'm such a fan of the tree monitors, where I do want to start scheduling a roundtable type type podcast. I would love to have you be a part of it once that time comes, and we'll talk more about it. But let's get these hot seat questions in so you can enjoy the rest of your night, buddy. Guys, again, please let's get the likes up for Cody if you haven't already. But it's hot seat questions for my dog Cody. Do you have it, Cody? Is it Kopp? Is your last name Kopp?
Kopp, yeah.
What do you have like an exotic animal name or anything as far as like page goes? Or
I'm trying to get better at posting to it, but it's versatile reptiles is what we go under.
And it's not on Instagram yet, or no?
No, not on Instagram under that. But my personal, and then I'm starting to do like a Facebook page for the business stuff. I'm trying to set it up, trying to do all the professional shit. I'm getting to it. But
day by day. I gotta say, man, the only reason why I'm even on that shit, the LLC and being professional, is because of ball pythons, man. So thank you to ball pythons.
Yeah.
If it wasn't, I'd still be a fucking goddamn hillbilly, fucking just breeding shit in my room and not caring. But
I got our friend Damon Hall, 402 Exotics. I gotta shout him out, obviously. He's best for last. Damon, great fucking dude. 99% of the shit that I know is just regurgitated from him, whether it's husbandry, misting, the whole fogging at night thing that I mentioned. Fucking everything, even like higher up business stuff. Every time I see him, he's like, "You have business cards yet? Like, fucking get on it, dude." Like, and so I attribute a lot of it to him. He's very helpful, great dude.
So you have a fog system and a mister, both inside your enclosures.
The fogger I mainly just use like if I just buy an import and it's really dehydrated, I will just put that fogger on that enclosure.
Got it. So that's like extra like
blanket emergency.
Yeah, what does it say? I don't know, I can't think. But anyways, all right, hot seat questions.
Go for it.
Cody, Kopp, you ready for this?
Mm-hmm.
Here we go. Favorite tree monitor species?
Fucking probably Cordensis.
Can't
believe I'm saying it.
Frozen thought or live?
Frozen.
A cut or no cut?
I've cut tree monitor eggs.
So you would?
Yeah. Yeah.
And in what circumstance would you cut an egg?
So I just went through this with a couple friends today, actually. Circumstance is if a baby hatches out of one of the eggs from that clutch, comes out, stomach is fully healed, fully absorbed yolk, perfectly fine. I will get if the other eggs are really fucking dented, I will give them a couple days and cut one. And if that one comes out and it's fully healed, I cut the other.
Got it. So it's that thing where we wait for that one to pip first and come out.
Yeah, and if that one comes out and it has yolk, I don't fucking touch the others.
So, or even, okay, so also too, this is important. Even if you see it pip, but it's not out the egg, you don't fuck with the other ones. So you
don't even touch them.
You're literally waiting that one to come out first.
Yep.
That's awesome. All right. Red chondro neo or yellow chondro neo?
Red.
Favorite green tree python locality?
Cyclops or wide yo?
Nice. Favorite green tree python breeder in America? Who's good? Socrates. Oh, yeah, I love it. I love you. Probably ruffled some OG's feathers out there. I'm not gonna lie. They're after my man Sock because he's coming in fucking taking names, man. He ain't playing. That's my dog there. Pre first shed meal or post first shed meal for a chondro?
Pre.
Oh, nice. You said that right away.
That baby. That thing ate 3 fucking times before it shed the first time. 3 or 4.
Wow.
That was all Alex.
That's
credit him. That was all him. Bill Steedle helped us with that though.
Yeah, shout out to Bill. Hey, yay imports or boo imports?
Yay.
One reptile you would love to import to your collection anywhere around the world?
Keith Horneye. Same answer as Parker.
Yeah. What about one reptile nobody should import? Leave it alone.
Savannas or Niles. Pick your fucking poison on that.
That's I always say the turtles, but man, that should be the automatic. Niles and Savannas. They don't.
Why are they $15 fucking?
Yeah.
Why
are they here?
Yeah.
Oh man. Yay sports or boo sports? Probably boo, I'm assuming, because you're a gamer.
I love playing sports. I don't watch them.
Okay.
I did MMA, Taekwondo, kickboxing, football, soccer, basketball, BMX, you name it.
So what was your favorite sport?
MMA, if you call that a sport.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Definitely a sport.
Steak or fish?
Steak.
Favorite cut of steak?
Thick cut ribeye.
There you go. Yay alcohol or boo alcohol?
Very rarely yay, but sometimes. Once a year.
Choice drink. Let's say we're at a show and we're at a bar and I'm like, Cody, what do you want to drink, buddy? I want to get you whatever you want.
Jack and Coke.
Nice. Van Halen or Sammy Hagar?
Fucking Christ. Van Halen.
Thank you. West Coast rap or East Coast rap?
East. So much more in the middle. Dude, I grew up on Bone Thugs, all right?
Yeah, but hold on. I want to address something that I could have sworn I saw what I saw on your leg. Was that a Slipknot logo?
Dude, Slipknot.
Yes!
Oh! Yeah.
Fellow maggot, buddy.
Yeah. Dude, I'm from Iowa, man.
That's fucking epic, bro.
Yeah.
Man, I gotta pause this. Have you heard the story of how me and my boy Matt Summers met? Did you ever hear that?
No.
Dude, so this guy, man, I have to tell the story, guys. This is a fellow Slipknot fan, so I have to say it. It means a lot. My boy Matthew Summers, still one of my best friends in the game today. But we're talking like the very first year. I want to say the third month I had a podcast, or I didn't have the podcast yet. This is just my vlog, the Snake Trap Sessions, right? I go to my very first Slipknot concert in San Bernardino. I go with a friend of mine, and I have pit tickets, and I go into the pit, and he does it, and I'm by myself. So I'm with like 30,000 people on the floor, and I'm not gonna lie, man. I'm like, dude, this is nuts. And we're just waiting for the show to start. It's getting like, people are kind of getting like uneasy, and they're like, oh, what's going on? And so I'm not gonna lie, bro. I'm like kind of nervous. I'm ready to leave, and then I hear MJ, and I'm like, who the fuck's calling my name? And it's this guy, Matthew Summers. He's like, Snake Trap Sessions, man. I watch all your stuff on YouTube.
No shit, really? Oh, man.
What? I was like,
damn.
Holy shit. I was like, you know me? And then
that's so cool.
We talked like friends for like 5 minutes. The concert starts. And I'm like, holy shit, the concert starts. I get into the mosh pit somehow, and I fucking blow out my knee. Tore my ACL.
No.
Yeah,
oh,
full blown, tore my ACL. The pit boss, fucking this big skinhead, like drags me out. He's like, come here. And he drags me out of the pit, sits me down. I'm just like, oh my God. So anyways, bro, Slipknot.
I was indoctrinated early. That was my first concert. My mom took me to see Slipknot when I was 8.
What? Dude, how old are you, Cody?
31.
31. Okay, so that makes sense because I got into Slipknot in 9th grade. 9th grade, rest in peace, my boy Paul Hickey, he gave me the very original Slipknot video of their concert, the very first concert, and I used to watch that shit religiously. And bro, I don't know what it was, man, but you know,
that's why I do all this, man.
That's so epic, bro. I mean, I had a lot of anger at that time in my life, man, and I all related it through Slipknot. Slipknot helped me release so much, even though it still carried on throughout my life. Bro, me and Slipknot, I gotta tell you, man,
yeah, dude,
that's my life.
Glad to hear it.
So I have to ask you, favorite Slipknot album?
Iowa.
Yeah. That was Iowa was the second one, right? That's the that's when they all had their worst day. They were all fucked up except for Mick. I think Mick was the only one who had his head straight.
Yeah, dude.
They were all on their fucking alcoholism, fucking drug bingers.
I started playing drums because of Joey Jordison. Also, first song I learned,
Number one drummer of all time, bro.
Left Behind is my favorite song on drums, hands down.
Oh, that was great. I felt like we just became best friends right now. I'm not little word association. First thing to come to mind, milk.
Ice cream.
Substrate.
Bioactive.
Hatching tree monitors.
Sim container.
First time tree monitor keeper.
Captive bred.
Tree monitor influencer.
Tree monitor. Oh my fucking God. Fuck off. Parker.
Parker!
Yeah!
Parker! That's my dog, bro.
Cool fucking kid.
Stuck shed.
Soak.
Diet.
Diverse.
If it came down to you having to pick only one of the current tree monitor species that you work with forever, like it's just what it is. God said, sorry, motherfucker, you only get one. What would that one tree monitor be for you, Cody?
Blue tree. Or Cordensis. I'll say blue tree. It's one answer.
Damn. And blue trees you've yet to hatch, correct?
Yeah, I don't have a female right now.
Oh, that's okay. Okay.
I've gotten eggs from every species other than boa mai and blue tree.
Right. Well, just a matter of time, man. I got to tell you, because you got this shit down, buddy. I love it. Love everything that you have to provide to the industry, more importantly, because you're a wealth of knowledge, man. But what do you have to say, man? We had just shy of 50 people tonight tapped into today's episode. So what do you have to say to all your supporters out there, everyone you influence and all the ones that you've been looking after, and just the people want to like see you win? What do you have to say to everyone out there?
I mean, I appreciate any and all support. I'm glad to help any and everyone. Fucking anybody has questions. I can sometimes suck at responding, but message me on Facebook or Instagram. I do not care. I got a YouTube channel. My channel that I've been
I'll
commenting
pull it out.
in.
What's the name of it? What's the name of it?
I just put it in the. It's my channel that I just fucking commented on. It's Riser.
Riser. So Riser.
But I've been posting videos of tree monitor stuff. I'm trying to get back into it. Dude, I get existential dread every time I start editing a video because I did it for so long.
You got to though, bro. Like honestly, like I'm kicking myself in the ass because I tell I have my other YouTube channel called The Trap Vlogs, and honestly, bro, like I like showing off my animals more than talking about it, but the fucking editing, man.
Dude, yeah.
It's just like just doing it. Once I start doing it, it's fine. But if I think about doing it, I don't do it. And then I'm like, and then I don't put it as a priority. But you have to, man. YouTube it's just a grind, bro. Like, yeah, and it's really hard when you have multiple channels. I'll tell you that
dude, yeah, I can only imagine. But no, I want to get more into educational content on the channel. That's obviously my channel on the top there. I did like how I set up my tree nest box video. I used to post a lot of gaming shit, obviously. Yeah. But yeah, man, I'm trying to get back into it. I've been recording some stuff, so there should be videos coming. But you could see I had a fucking 10-month hiatus from posting anything.
Yeah, man. But just do it. Get back on. I mean, you already did it. The hard part is just posting. So I mean, fuck it.
Yeah,
let's get going. This is all good information, man. We need this stuff. This is all information that we really need in the hobby.
Yeah, but lastly, I would say you didn't ask me my favorite expo.
Oh yeah. Drop that. What's your favorite reptile expo?
Tinley's Fun, Omaha Reptile Breeders Expo.
Oh, okay.
Shout out.
Local plug. I get that.
Shout out Glenn Easel, the guy that hosts the show here. Great fucking guy. He's been breeding boas for years. I've been waiting to shout him out this whole goddamn time. Cool fucking guy. Very helpful. The local show, it's not as big as Tinley. There's not as much shit, but the people that come here are fantastic.
Yeah, listen, it's not always the size of the show. You know what I mean? It's literally who's at the show.
Yeah, dude.
And I mean, I'm glad you shot that out, man. If you don't mind,
make you feel welcome.
Shoot me that info. I'll put that info in the description below, because I feel like the more reptile shows that could really bring a better crowd would, as far as crowd, dude, would be better. But man, what a great episode, Cody. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. It's a wrap. Give it up to my homie Cody Kopp, ladies and gentlemen. All right, bro.
Thanks for having me, dude.
Yeah, man. We'll do this again, and we'll talk soon. Have a good night, Cody.
Definitely. You too. Later.
Whew. Guys, thank you. Sundays don't normally get this heavy, but of course, tree monitors will do that. I've had a great time tonight. Cody, thank you so much. People who tapped in, thank you so much. Hope you guys enjoyed what we had to learn about tree monitors. I got to tell you, as much as it's a downer for me to have to go through anything that dies that I'm trying to produce, it's progress, it's progression, and you just got to look on the brighter side of things. I kind of go back and forth because I kind of get depressed, guys. I'm not gonna lie. Like I try to share what fails for me because I want to just be transparent, but then I also take it hard because I'm working on this, but I try to not get so offensive, and sometimes when I share stuff like that, people want to come to me like with their answers, or even though I'm not asking, hey, can you explain to me what happened? I'm not asking you that, but they want to come and they want to talk about it. So I feel like, well, maybe I shouldn't be posting it if I'm not ready to talk about it. So I don't know. I need to work that out. It's kind of like a double-edged sword because I feel good letting it like, hey guys, this is what's happened. But then having to explain myself and talk to people is when I run into issues, because I kind of like, I don't know, I'm pissed. Like I'm not happy that it didn't work out, even though I'm trying to be Mr. like, hey guys, this is just how it goes. Inside, I'm like, God damn it, son of a bitch, because 142 days. You wait 142 days to see this beautiful fucking thing dead in an egg, and it's like, God damn it. But hey, got more eggs cooking. See what happens. Nobody said it's easy, because if it was, it would be an overworked project. It would be so many people breeding tree monitors and everyone's an expert, but no, that's not the case. So I'm going to take my licks. I'm going to do what I got to do to get this shit down, because it's all about me evolving. That's it. And I just don't want to be known as a ball python breeder, man. As of right now, that's my only flex. I'm a ball python breeder. I guess super dwarfs too, right? But I don't know. Day by day, guys. I'm having fun. I hope you guys had fun. This was a great episode. Like I said, make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, that notification bell if you're into reptile podcasts. If you want to continue to learn about the reptile industry, what's relevant, and people who are just doing the things the right way, and just all the above, man, you're going to want to hit that notification bell. And again, if you listen to this podcast on all the major audio platforms, Apple, Spotify, Google, please don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe where you listen to Trap Talk Reptile Podcast. Thank you so much. Guys, tomorrow I will say I'm bringing somebody special to New Breed on the Block series. Because, listen, I'm no different. I'm not going to lie. So I'm bringing myself. Okay, that's right. MJ is bringing myself on to New Breed on the Block series. We're going to talk about the chondros. We're going to talk about how I'm 4 years deep into failing producing green tree pythons. I don't know if you guys heard me tonight, but yeah, man, I lost all possibilities of my chondro clutch this year. The two that pipped last night ended up dying inside the eggs with their heads just slumped over. So day by day. Tomorrow, New Breed on the Block series with yours truly, MJ from Trap Exotics. I do have somebody very player in the chondro community jumping on with me to kind of be the interviewee, asking me questions and bouncing back and forth. So if you want to kind of dive deep with me, guys, on what's happening with me producing green tree pythons or trying to produce green tree pythons, why do all these fully formed snakes are dying in the egg, all that stuff, we're going to discuss all that stuff tomorrow. Okay, I'm not going to tell you who I'm bringing on quite yet, but stand by, hit that subscribe button, join the Patreon page, because Patreon knows everything before anyone else in the public knows. So one of the perks, join the Trap Talk Patreon family, coolest reptile podcast family in the world. And yeah, I'll see you guys here tomorrow night, 6 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. And then, guys, I'm not going to lie, this Thursday is going to be one for the books, man, because I got two of the biggest when it comes to the reptile shows. These are two of the biggest faces just doing the most wildest things at the reptile shows, but they're also two big relevant people in the ball python game. And we're going to get them both on the show for Elite Ball Python Talk this Thursday night, 6 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. Nowhere else to be but Trap Talk Thursday night. Like always, 6 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. You're going to sit down with me, my boy, Antoine Hood. That's right. The hobby's Mean King, Antoine Hood, and Bob Vu from Bob's Ball, man. What a roundtable. All about ball pythons, man. We're elevating our ball python game, and that's what this Thursday night's going to be all about. So make sure you're ready for that. Coolest reptile podcast in the world. That's a fact. By the way, the Bullens raffle closed off. We have all 100 raffle tickets locked in. So you snooze, you lose. But Thursday, 1 hour before this podcast, we're going to be doing the raffle. Okay. So guys, tap in, man. If you want to see who the lucky winner is of a pair of Bullens, it's going down this Thursday, 5 o'clock, 1 hour before the show. And yeah, just be ready. It's going to be a good time, guys. Thank you so much. Have a good night. Cody, thank you. Viewers, thank you. Trappers, thank you. See you at the top. And I'm out.